Live from GBC Studio 1, this is The Breakfast Show.
Good morning.
It's a good morning and we serve you breakfast.
Not just any breakfast.
Sizzling helping.
And there's much more on offer on GTV Breakfast.
So what's your pleasure than Votras here at that time of the morning?
You want it served buffet style, complimentary breakfast?
On-site restaurant.
Or room service.
We've got you covered.
From Monday to Friday at 6 a.m.
With a trusted team.
So never skip breakfast.
On GTV Breakfast.
Morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It's a good morning and we serve you breakfast.
Not just any breakfast.
Sizzling helping.
Yeah, all the time. Okay, let's take a peek. I brought my spine.
There are certain things that we do to help the children with their brushing.
And there's much more on offer on GTV Breakfast.
You want it served buffet style,
On-site restaurant.
complimentary breakfast?
Off of your plate chicken vegetables. So in my lifetime, I haven't seen Ghana Black Stars win an African Cup.
Can I show what is written on the back?
Yes, definitely.
Where's the
Just
camera?
stand and turn.
So what's your pleasure than Votras here at that time of the morning? So never skip breakfast.
On GTV Breakfast.
From Monday to Friday.
Good morning.
It's a good morning and we serve you breakfast.
Not just any breakfast.
And here we are serving you breakfast nice and piping hot, as the lady on my left always says it. Nice and piping hot. And boy, do we have a show for you today. It's Throwback Thursday, which means one day to Friday, and then the weekend comes around.
Thursday's Friday's Big Brother.
Friday's Big Brother, yes. Before Friday comes, Thursday must arrive. You understand? So we're going to have a good show for you. Hashtag GTV Breakfast. You want to follow us across all social media platforms, okay? And in about 24 minutes, we'll be having a health conversation brought to you by Lufat, which is the anti-malaria. It's in tablet and suspension form, and it's great for malaria. Brought to you by Tobinco's, the product of the year 2021 Ghana Farmer Awards. So we're looking at sex addiction in men. So that's something that you want to send your questions ahead to 055-556 1034, 055-556 1034. Is there even such a thing as sex addiction? And in men too? No, she doesn't think so. But what do you think? Are you going through it? Are you being treated and discharged? Let's know. 055-556 1034. That's our conversation on health in 23 minutes. What next do we have? What else do we have?
We'll be getting up close with Black Rasta.
Ah, yes. The broadcaster, the musician.
I like to call him the controversial Black Rasta.
The controversial
Yes,
Black
yes.
Rasta.
And so that's a conversation to look forward to later on the site that's sponsored by Airtel Tigo, the lifestyle segment, My Yellow Couch, the lifestyle segment. We'll be having Black Rasta on there. We'll also be having discussions around the 3rd annual Inspiration Weekend tournament. And then also, CAF will be sitting down with the Sheikh and the doctor. To discuss what's happening on the headlines in newspapers.
Yeah.
Also, we'll be looking at traffic locations. Maybe this time we'll be going around, I don't want to give it to you. It's a security zone, but we do hear that the traffic light is faulty, so we're about to go there. We do hope that they'll allow our cameras there, and then so we'll bring you that. And we'll be keeping an eye on what's not in around the capital as well. What are in your trends this morning? What are in your trends? We encourage you to follow us on our social media handles. We are live on Facebook as the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, live on YouTube as the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. We're interactive on Twitter as the GBC Ghana, and Instagram as GBC Online. We encourage you to share our content. Remember that all our accounts are verified, which means they have the blue tick, and so when you share content from there, it is authentic content from GBC.
Indeed. Today, a couple of notes. Today is World Anti-Corruption Day. There's actually a day for anti-corruption. It's today. What do you think? How are you marking it? Don't give bribes, okay? Don't give bribes. Charlie, there was one day years ago, I was about 25. I was driving from Accra to Kumasi. And I think I flouted every regulation in the book. Because the police flagged me halfway. I was overspeeding. My roadworthy had died. My license had died. Everything was just dead. So the moment the guy stopped me, I came out of my car. I said, officer, process me. I mean, the officer process me. He said, what do you mean? I said, officer, process me. He said, I charge you for overspeeding? I said, yes, officer. I charge you for roadworthy, which is expired? I said, yes, officer. I charge you for dead license? I said, yes, officer. That's why I say, process me.
But he didn't want to process you.
Listen, we're in the middle of the road, in a jungle somewhere, on the way to Kumasi. The guy looked at me and said, you these small boys, you talk too much. Settle your father.
Simple. No plenty talk.
Oh,
simple.
I wanted to be processed too. Charlie. So Charlie, look, when you come, when the police stop you, they just tell them to process you.
Yes, okay. Surrender.
Yes, surrender. And sometimes they actually are so shocked that they just allow you to go. So like your honesty and the fact that you're not challenging the police. Yeah.
Okay, so then, officer, process me.
well, that's the corruption day. So think about that. And second thing, Mr. Carlos Ahinkra is an MP. And he says, if you don't want to pay e-levy, don't use mobile money. Oh, Mr. Ahinkra, why? Why? What a suggestion. If you don't want to use pay e-levy, don't use mobile money. What do you think? 05555561034. All right. I don't think what you said was right, but what's your view? You could disagree with me, and I like disagreement. Okay. So yeah, let's go. 05555561034. Val, let's do our wisdom nugget. Process me with the wisdom nugget.
Creativity, innovation.
Fantastic. From
Dr. Kofi Osei Kusi.
Welcome to the throwback edition of GTV Breakfast, minus Thelma, who is suffering from some Bassa wounds. We wish her well.
Exciting and very humbling for me to serve you the wisdom nugget for the day. Today, I want us to talk about the difference between creativity and innovation. They're two words that I use very often, and sometimes we interchange them, but it's important that we understand the difference between what creativity is and what innovation is, because they're very important words. Creativity is simply the generation of ideas, having ideas, new ideas, doing things differently, coming up with brilliant concepts and ideas. Some people are creative and some are not. One of the things I find on the streets of Ghana here is that there are many people who are not creative at all. When someone comes up with an idea to maybe produce a certain product or a certain service, all of a sudden you see that everybody is doing the same thing. And then you are wondering, couldn't they have been creative? Couldn't they have come up with such an idea even before that person started? So when you start something new, you better be careful, because a lot of people are not creative. But hey, we can be creative. We can think about new things and new ways of doing things even before another person starts it. But what is more important for me is the word innovation. Innovation is a build on creativity. And so it is usually creativity that gives birth to innovation. Innovation is simply implementing your creative ideas. So there are a lot of people who have ideas, but their problem is not creativity. Their problem is innovation, which is how do they actually execute, implement, and make happen their creative ideas. Innovation is simply moving the thing from your head into your hand. You begin to touch the thing that you're dreaming about. So important that we all learn to be more innovative, which is implementing our ideas. And there are a lot of things that prevent people from being innovative and implementing those ideas that they have. One of them is fear. A lot of people have ideas, but they are afraid that when they execute them, implement them, they may fail or people are going to laugh at them. But hey, don't be afraid. If you have an idea, look, put it into practice. You should not be one of those people who die with their ideas. Today, as you listen to this wisdom nugget today, I want to challenge you that with all those creative ideas that you have accumulated over the years, today is the day to start implementing them. Today is the day to start being innovative. Remember a man called Thomas Edison. He had an idea of a long-lasting electric bulb, and he implemented it over 10,000 times, we are told. He failed so many times that he didn't stop until it worked. So as you get through the day, go ahead, implement those ideas, and at one point in time, believe you me, that idea is going to materialize. You're going to be celebrated, you're going to be successful. Have yourself a fabulous day as you walk through the day thinking about the difference between creativity and innovation and why we all need to be more innovative. I'll see you again on the Wisdom Nugget for your day.
Good morning. Good morning. And so we are going to be discussing what's trending on our social media handles, and at this point these are just our views and echoing the views of conversations and others that we followed. And so first on our trends we have WASSCE 2021. So over 1,300 subjects results and 174 entire results were cancelled. Before we get into the conversation around that, let me read the press release from WAEC.
Okay, great.
The West African Examination Council, WAEC, wishes to announce for the information of the general public that it has released provisional results of candidates who sat for the WASSCE for School Candidates 2021 in Ghana. The council will make available login details to heads of schools to enable them print the statement of results of their candidates. Candidates are therefore advised to contact their heads of schools for their results. Meanwhile, the council has hosted the results online, and candidates who so desire may access their results at the council's website or dial the short code *944#. The council is cautioning all stakeholders, especially candidates, to be on alert and not fall prey to the activities of scammers who promise to upgrade results for a fee. Candidates are to note that all WAEC results are secured and can be authenticated. Institutions are therefore urged to always verify results presented to them to expose incidents of forgery. And so that's the beginning of the statement. And then it goes on and then gives us the statistics.
I want to hear the statistics. You haven't heard?
Yes, I do. So in English language, so this is the performance of the candidates with respect to the 4 core subjects as follows. English language, which is A1 to C6.
Okay, so we got A1 to C6, English language, 54%. We got that. And then E9, we had 9% of that. D7, 11.3%. F9, that's a fail, 13.99%. Maths, core, A1 to C6, 54% passed maths. And then you had 10% with E8, 8.9% with D7, and then a fail, outright fail, 20%. Wow, maths has struck again. 20% failed maths. Integrated science, A1 to C6, 65%. Okay, we are breeding more scientists. People are doing well in science. E8, 9%, D7, 15%, F9, total fail for almost 5%. And then social studies, 66%, not bad, 2/3. 2 out of 3 students got in between A1 and C6. E9, 7.65%. F9, wow, fail, almost 15%. And then, so those are now comparing English language versus, 2021 versus 2020 to 2020, where we've done worse in 2021, 57 versus 54%. For maths, the performance has dipped, 65% passed A1 to C6 in 2020. Only 54% got it in 2021. Integrated science, we've done better. 52% in 2020, and then 65% in 2021. Social studies, we've also done marginally better, 64% in 2020 and 66% in 2021. So the dips were marginal in English from 57 to 54.
And math.
And then math, actually, yes, a huge drop from 65 to 54. A lot of remedial schools are going to be in action as a result of these results.
And
for the maths.
A lot of school heads are also going to be on the back burners this morning.
Exactly.
I don't want to be in any candidate's position now. Do you remember how it was for you?
Yes, I don't remember how I got my results when, well, I think they just posted to me. I did the O level back then. And so, yeah, they posted your results. There was no internet back then, you know, in 87.
You know when you write the exam and the results come and you know what you wrote and you know that I will get this. That is me and math when it came to my WASI. Like I knew I would.
You knew I was going to get,
I knew I was going to get. But they are also cautioning against the candidate and parents to be cautious of scammers. And at this point, they are going to be rife. They are going to be around the internet cafes and preying on innocent candidates and.
Yeah, it's quite a frantic, a very anxious time for people who haven't done that well. For those who've done well, I mean, I'm seeing pictures of people's straight A results all over, and then I saw a caution from somebody that Charlie 8 A's they give you guarantee of a job, you know. So it's not just about the grades, but yep, you've got to work, you've got to do your work experience, internship. There's so many things that you have to do. In some secondary schools, they're even getting kids to intern in the lower, you know, classes. Yeah.
Yes, so and the grades.
It's a mixture of things. It's not just exams. So, yeah. Well, congratulations to all of you who did well. For those of you who didn't do as well as you expected, I know how that feels. Yeah, it's not the end of the world. You know, in some countries, people kill themselves because of exam results. It can't be that bad, okay? You try again.
It can only get better.
Exactly, and some of the most successful people you see around didn't do well the first time around. You know, it's not about getting it, boom, first time. You can always do it again. You know, I failed a couple of exams. I mean, my A levels, which is the equivalent of WASI, I wrote only one. I fell sick, wrote one, failed the second one, and then I had to go do November, you know, NovDec, before I got to university. So don't lose hope.
I failed in math and I had to rewrite before I got into uni as well.
So don't lose hope, okay, guys?
Math.
It's not the end of the world.
Yeah, it can only get better. It can't get better.
Please. I'm begging you. Anybody who is thinking of doing something drastic, we beg, okay? It's not worth it, you know?
Yeah.
Don't harm yourself because of WAEC, all right? There are other things in the world, all right? Yeah. So, yeah, congratulations to all of you who did well. Those of you who didn't do well, it's not the end of the world, okay? You can do better. Just apply yourself. Yeah.
And then we're going to talk about T and her people.
Yeah. Oh, Basa. We can send the same message to Basa. It's like they also bombed WASI.
Halfway.
Yeah.
So to the Basa fans, we cannot say we are sorry. No. We cannot say we sympathize with you, but take one for the team. Yeah,
they should take one for the team. I mean, they were not spared by Bayern. Bayern had already won 5 games out of 5, and they put out a full strength team, and they wanted to get their 18 points, just like Ajax, and they got their 18 points. I mean, yeah, Leroy Sané and you know, all these guys. Lewandowski didn't even score. You know, he didn't even score. He's the guy who scores all the time. Really nice cartoon there. Bayern, Benfica, and then you have Barca at the back.
Good morning, Thelma. Good morning, all the Barca fans.
I like this one. Champions League straight ahead.
Europa League, right?
Yeah. You'll be playing Thursday night football. Yeah. Well, it happens. You know, their coach, the new coach, Xavi, said everything starts from 0.
Okay.
I mean, and they can't go lower than where they are now. The Europa is not for them, but Europa is their reality now. Yeah. So at least he's accepting. Oh wow. Oh. It already crossed the line, so it was given as a goal. Yeah. So great stuff. Great stuff from Bayern. They did a good job on, you know, 5 times UEFA Champions League winners, and they were just dealt with. Oh, Charlie, nonsense of the referee of the defender. Go cross the line. Yeah, they crossed the line. and it crossed. Okay, so this was the second goal.
Yep.
Leroy Sané, big shot. He used to play for Man City, and he just blasted that into the net. It must be miserable to be playing football in this kind of cold weather. It's some slight, I don't know whether it's drizzle or snow, and you're losing also, you know. It's,
Double.
Yeah.
When poverty is beating you,
and my brother,
and rain is beating you some more. That was from when he was walking through the rain.
Yeah, they couldn't even score a goal. And then there you go, the Bayern machine, German machine, boom. This is the third goal. All right. Oh, Charlie. Oh, Charlie. Oh, Charlie. Sunny Pune. It became like a training session. Maybe. Yeah. And that was the third goal. Sealed the ticket.
It took Barca to the cleaners.
Yeah, Road to Europa. This game was called Road to Europa. Yeah. Barca will play the Europa League in 2022.
And then one of the MPs who became famous earlier on in the year for snatching the ballots.
Yeah, you know who chewed. Yeah, he popped it in his
mouth.
Yeah.
Carlos Ahenkra. He's in the news again.
You know, one question I'd like to ask him: how did it taste? What do ballot papers taste like? Yeah, that's one question I'd love to ask him. Yeah. What does he say this time?
He says that e-levy is not compulsory. If you don't want to pay, don't do Momo. Carlos Ahenkra. So MP for West Kaloza, Kingsley Ahenkra, has stated that the proposed 1.75 e-levy by government is not a compulsory tax. Thus, Ghanaians who are opposed to it should not engage in electronic transactions. The former Deputy Minister of Trade made these remarks during an interview on a radio station, Joy FM, parliamentary correspondent Kwesi Paka on Wednesday, and it's not a compulsory tax. If you don't do Momo, you don't pay. So if you don't want to pay, don't do Momo. Simple. Okay. That's what Carlos says.
Let me ask the question. Are you one of the rare people in this country who does not do Momo? I mean, if you don't do Momo, send me WhatsApp, okay? If you don't do Momo at all.
Do Momo?
Yeah, I just want to know. Then maybe, I mean, yesterday, KKD said you didn't know what Okada was. And there were some other people in the studio who did not know what Okada was, you know. So it's possible that there are some people in this country who don't do Momo. So if you don't do Momo, please send me a WhatsApp. How do you send money around? You know, 055-556-1034. Because if you don't do Momo, then you fall in the category of Mr. Ahenkra. Is he MP?
No, he's
not
an
MP. Okay, all right. Yeah. So let us know if you don't do Momo at all. You're not going to be before in your life. Let me know. I mean, up until 2013, I hadn't done WhatsApp.
He says that in his view, he's saying that a protester should rather help government with laudable ideas instead of opposing a 1.75 e-levy. I thought that's the reason why we are all everybody is talking, so that we can come to agreeable terms.
Yeah.
Saying that don't do Momo is like...
He says it's not compulsory, and you're by force. So for those of you who don't do Momo, let me know. Okay, I want to know who you are, how many you are, all right? Yeah, 055-556-1034. Are those our trends?
Yes.
Okay.
Those are trends.
All right, great stuff.
Apart from that, we just have to still keep touting that Christmas is here. Yuletide activities have started, and people have started misbehaving on our roads again. We're seeing road accidents go up, Okada accidents going up as well. So we're encouraging everybody to be careful on the roads, be each other's keeper.
Okay, so coming up, conversation on sex addiction in men. On our health conversation brought to you by Lufat. I sit down with my guests on the headlines. Sheikh Al Shaibu, the Imam, who is the national spokesperson for the chief Imam, and I said to my guests on headlines. And then we'll be hosting Black Rasta, a broadcaster, musician, activist, filmmaker. He actually put out a documentary on arguably Ghana's greatest goalkeeper, Robert Mensah. And I saw clips of that, really, really touching stuff. So that's something to look forward to. What else can we look forward to?
Winners of yesterday's cheesy quiz can look forward to this conversation. Yesterday we asked that, you know, GBC, whether you like it or not, we have a franchise for Home Alone. We'll show it and show it and show it and show it again and again. Yes. And so yesterday we asked the question, when was the movie Home Alone released? And the answer is December 14, 1990. Cool. December 14, 1990.
Wow.
And the winners, the proud winners, Messi Esiedu from Manchester, Prosper Yao Agbeko, Fafraha Adenta, Siayo Godwin Morris, Hohoi.
Okay.
And so the winners again, Mercy and Kasim, congratulations. You have yourself a cheesy pizza voucher. Prosper Yao Agbakufafraha Denta, you have yourself a cheesy pizza voucher. And then Siayo Godwin Morris Hohoy, you have won yourself a cheesy pizza voucher. The show is made possible by Awake Purified Water, Adonko Next Level Energy Drink, Lufat Cheesy Pizza, Airtel, Tigo and Shield Acrylic Paints. The hashtag to follow is GTV Breakfast. We'll be right back.
Live from GBC Studio 1, this is the Breakfast Show.
He has a drink filled with...
Live from GBC Studio 1, this is the Breakfast Show.
Good morning.
It's a good morning, and we serve you breakfast.
Not just any breakfast.
Sizzling helping.
And there's much more on offer on GTV Breakfast.
So what's your pleasure? At that time of the morning.
You want it served buffet style, complimentary breakfast?
On-site restaurant.
Or room service?
We've got you covered.
From Monday to Friday at 6 a.m.
With a trusted team.
So never skip breakfast.
On GTV Breakfast. Good morning, my neighbors.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It's a good morning, and we serve you breakfast.
Not just any breakfast.
Sizzling helping.
Yeah, all the time. Okay, let's take a peek. I brought my spine.
There are certain things that we do to help the children with their brushing.
And there's much more on offer on GTV Breakfast.
You want it served buffet style,
On-site restaurant.
complimentary breakfast?
Off of your plate chicken vegetables.
So in my lifetime, I haven't seen Ghana Black Stars win an African Cup.
Can I show what is written on the back?
Yes, definitely.
Where's the map?
Stand and turn.
So it's your pleasure at that time of the morning. So never skip breakfast.
On GTV Breakfast.
From Monday to Friday at 6 a.m.
We've got you covered with a trusted team.
Yenjai, kanam say. Yenjai, kanam say. Yenjai, kanam say. Say Ghana mai emrena suo galam say SSA jayo my kambum na ye mine say ya ye pebre. Yenjai, kanam say. Yenjai, kanam say. Yenjai, kanam say. Say Ghana. Galam Sinti, yes you are say oh. Galam Sinti, and for best I say oh. Galam Sinti, in call for ewu. Say abanche wa ubedem. Yenjai, kanam say. Yenjai, kanam say. Yenjai, kanam say Ghana. Yeah, my Ghana, yes, a man in seo. Yeah, my Ghana, yes, a man in seo. Yeah, my Ghana, yes, a man in seo. Kalam say master. Kalam say master. Kalam say master. Kalam say master. Kalam say master.
Live from GBC Studio 1, this is the Breakfast Show. Live from GBC Studio 1, this is the Breakfast Show. Live from GBC Studio 1, this is the Breakfast Show.
Good morning. It's a good morning, and we serve you breakfast.
Not just any breakfast.
Sizzling helping.
And there's much more on offer on GTV Breakfast.
So what's your pleasure? At that time of the morning.
You want it served buffet style, complimentary breakfast?
On-site restaurant.
Or room service?
We've got you covered.
From Monday to Friday at 6 a.m.
With a trusted team.
So never skip breakfast.
On GTV Breakfast. Good morning, my neighbors.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It's a good morning, and we serve you breakfast.
Not just any breakfast.
Sizzling helping.
Yeah, all the time. Okay, let's take a peek. I brought my spine.
There are certain things that we do to help the children with their brushing.
And there's much more on offer on GTV Breakfast.
You want it served buffet style?
On-site restaurant.
Complimentary breakfast?
Off of your plate should be vegetables. So in my lifetime, I haven't seen Ghana Black Stars win an African Cup.
Can I show what is written on the bag?
Yes, definitely.
Where's the camera?
Just stand and turn.
So what's your pleasure at that time of the morning? So never skip breakfast.
On GTV Breakfast.
From Monday to Friday at 6 a.m.
We've got you covered with a trusted team.
Live from GBC Studio 1, this is the Breakfast Show.
Good morning.
It's a good morning, and we serve you breakfast.
Not just any breakfast.
Sizzling helping.
And there's much more on offer on GTV Breakfast.
So what's your...
Live from GBC Studio 1, this is the Breakfast Show.
And the reason I'm turning my eyes are like that is because of the clock is, all right? Yeah, I wish I were a bird with eyes here, but I can't look that way, so I have to look like that. 6:36, or just look like this, 6:36. And you're watching GTV Breakfast. We're going to have a conversation on sex addiction brought to you by Lufat Anti-Malarials right after this. Don't go anywhere.
The show was a job about anyone concrete dim.
The groom is sick.
What?
Malaria.
Malaria.
Lufat.
Woman malaria and kawan to them. Lufat, a malaria drop a compare.
And now you may kiss the bride.
Entrance Pharmaceuticals and Research Center. And I Lufat. Lufat, a 2 malaria sentence. FDA.
Right, and so this conversation is brought to you by Lufat, tablet suspension. WHO recommended ingredients are in this drug, and it comes in the form of a suspension for kids, tablets for adults, used to manage malaria, taken after a fatty meal for 3 days for effective results. It's a brand you can trust, up to Binko, and it was endorsed as the product of the year at the 2021 Ghana Pharma Awards. Joining me on the line to let you know all you need to know about sex addiction is medical practitioner, biomedical researcher, and public and global health scientist, Dr. Richard Egan. And our conversation today is on the topic of sex addiction. And then when I were talking about this topic yesterday, one of our colleagues said, is it even real? Is there such a thing as sex addiction? Well, joining me on the line is Dr. Richard Egan. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm great. Good to have you on, Dr. Egan. Let's go straight into the business of our conversation this morning. For those who are doubting that sex addiction is even something that is real, what does the science say? What does medicine say?
Medicine will simply tell you that, you see, we have something called sex addiction, and we have other names for it. We don't normally use the term sex addiction, but we have terms like compulsive sex behavior. Also, we have another word for it, which is hypersexuality or hypersexuality disorder. In fact, all these names I've given you or terms I've given you actually describes sex addiction. So yes, there is such thing like sex addiction.
What causes this kind of addiction? I mean, we hear of drug addiction, substance abuse. I'm assuming that sex addiction is a behavioral condition. What causes it?
Sex addiction is actually known to be caused by, you know, a number of factors, psychological, both biological and psychological factors. We say that addiction is sometimes presented as a manifestation of altered neurochemistry. So when your neurochemistry, that is the brain chemistry actually, is altered, and what makes your brain chemistry altered? You see, we have something called the neurotransmitters. These are the things, the chemicals that actually help to, you know, help with activities, human activities, because anything we do depends on what the brain tells the body to do. And you have to also understand that the brain is actually, or the nervous system, as we call it, is actually the central coordinating and controlling system that controls everything. So this system also works with some chemicals, you see, among other things. And one of those chemicals is what we call the dopamine. And there are others like serotonin and so on and so forth. So there are so many of them out there.
Right.
And when some of these chemicals, you know, something goes wrong, and this chemistry doesn't really work the way it should normally work, then of course it brings about a whole lot of things. We say that people can have this desire, compulsive desire for sex, when sometimes the neurochemistry go awry, as I'm explaining now. So it is just like having cocaine abuse, or you know, any other thing that you gain abuse of, you know, like you become addicted to, like alcohol addiction, etc. Because many people don't realize that people actually get hooked onto alcohol. Many people don't really even realize that you can even get hooked onto certain type of food. So, you know, the chemistry is what determines this. You know, sometimes when I hear people telling people, well, I don't know the reason why he can't stop this activity, and he's been, you see, behavior is not simply determined by what someone simply want to do. It's sometimes also about what whatever it is, the driving factors within your system and the driving factors within the environment is telling people to do.
Right.
So sex addiction is one of those things that are actually determined by the chemistry of your brain, and also what you have around you, situations you have around you, conditions you have around you. There are some people that will simply go for sex, that would like to go for sex when they feel sad, they feel very bad, and when situations are bad, when they're too overstressed, or when they are going through a whole lot of emotional distress.
Right.
They want to go in for sex, and that becomes something they rely on. It's just like something they can always go to and get, you know, a little bit of
relief.
Real relief
Okay.
from the situation they find themselves in. So yeah, sex addiction can actually come from sex, but normally it is from the brain activity and brain chemistry that is going wrong.
Why are men more prone to sex addiction?
Well, I don't know for what reason, but I know this. We actually interviewed a few people some time ago, and we realized that men, you see, some people have had. Someone actually explained this thing. I don't know whether it makes any sense, but I think later on when we did some psychological analysis, we realized that it was something that can be possible. He said that from the beginning of his life, he lost the love of his mother. You see, that doesn't make any sense to you. Yes, it does make some sense. This person really, because it all comes down to sometimes to the way you were brought up, the conditions you were brought up in. You see, someone may not understand what I'm saying, but they can take their time to actually analyze these things, go through the research, and you realize that some people need intimacy. Some people need something, you see. So they start with, you know, I know some men who can never ever stop. They've grown, they've reached a certain age, but they still are going after the girls. They still are actually going after the girls, but that is the only thing they find comfort in. They find solace in that particular thing. It's a brain thing. It's a psychology thing. It's about satisfaction. And that satisfaction for this person with addiction, that satisfaction actually comes from within. It comes from sex. It comes from something that really gives him some just like alcohol gives us, or any other drug gives us, any other drugs that actually promote the chemistry, the activity of dopamine. You know, dopamine is one of the chemicals we have within what we call the satisfaction areas, or the happiness centers within our brain. So anytime this person goes for sex or finds someone attractive to him sexually, then it turns those chemistry or those chemicals on.
Okay.
And this is what it is the feel-good factor. It's all about the feel-good. And some people can take other things. Instead of sex, some people can take food. I know someone who can just eat and eat and eat, because that is what actually gives them that satisfaction.
Okay.
And it's just like having that addiction to that food you're eating, that gives you the satisfaction.
Right.
That sort of, you know, brain chemistry, satisfaction you get.
Makes you
and
happy.
Some are actually going off the sex.
Yes.
So it is about the happiness
Okay.
that you get from it.
All right, Dr. Egan, let me just announce the telephone number for those who would like to call in. 054-366-4264. 054-366-4264. If you'd like to call in later on to share your experience with sex addiction, would love to hear from you. 055-366-4264. Back to you, Dr. Egan. In your experience, in your practice, what's the most severe case of sex addiction that you have come across?
I have come across, not only for the men, I've also come across women who will just simply tell you that without sex for one day, just one day, they cannot survive. You see, they just can't have any satisfaction through the day. They live through sex. Their life is just about sex. And the men who I have met will simply tell you that they are trying their very best, but they can actually resist the temptation. They can't resist the feeling. You see, in Africa, we see these things as very abnormal, just like every other thing looks very abnormal to us. But it is a reality that is there, and a reality that actually occurs to many people out there. I've seen this guy who tells you that, look, if I get the moment I get sex, I'm okay. It gives me some, something like, a temporary satisfaction that carries me through the day. I've met people like that. I've interviewed many people, and I've come to that understanding that, look, sex addiction is a reality that is out there. If you know someone who cannot actually stop themselves from having sex one day, just one day, please feel sorry for them. I keep telling, I spoke to a lady who actually told me the same thing about her husband. She said, he can anytime. I know he's a womanizer. And I said, yes. He probably has been that womanizer you're talking about. In fact, we would like to use the word addiction. He may have had this thing from infancy because, like someone told me, as I said earlier, he said he feels very close to his mother because he's lost his mother very early. He feels very close to his own mother when he actually is engaged with a woman.
Right.
When he gets close to the woman, and whenever he actually has sex, it's just like having that motherly love
for him. So he's replacing sexual contact with intimacy. Dr. Egan, we're just going to take a phone call right now. Somebody's on the line who would like to share something, and then you can listen and then respond. Hello, good morning. Welcome to the show. This is GTV Breakfast. What's your name?
I'm Dennis. I'm calling from Labadi.
Dennis from Labadi. Go ahead. What's on your mind?
Yeah. What Dr. Richard is saying is really true because sometimes, moreover, it starts with the physiological because it depends on what you be thinking about. Maybe there is a girl beside you or something, and then with the girls, what the girl is doing will attract you into such things. So if we don't train our minds or we don't train these things, like we always fall into sex addiction.
Are you giving us advice or you're talking about your own experience?
It's something I know is in boys and it's in men too.
Oh, okay. So this is not your personal experience.
Thing sometimes you see someone who be close to you. You don't want to do something, but with a girl's action, what a girl will do will make you have sex with a person. And if we men don't train ourselves, we always fall in sex addiction.
Okay, well, thank you for the advice.
I think it's a bad thing.
Thank you very much. All right, Dennis from La, giving us some advice there. Dr. Egan, what do you think?
Yes, he's perfectly right. You see, actually, sex addiction is actually classified as one of the of what we call this statistical manual of mental disorders. The diagnostic is, in fact, it is classified as a DSM-5 problem. You see,
what does that mean? What is a DSM-5 problem?
It is actually something that is related to mental health disorders. You see, when we talk about mental health disorders, classified under this DSM-5, you know, they are not the type of mental health diseases where you can say somebody needs a psychiatric hospital. People may be living with conditions like behavioral conditions. We have serious problems. I know someone who have to always quarrel with someone every day before they can feel very good. You may be working with someone who may have one of these problems of having to just create an atmosphere where everybody within the workplace will feel very unhappy because that is what satisfies that person.
All right.
Sex addiction is just about the satisfaction you gain within the brain. Okay. But yours is just through sex.
It's through sex.
You see, some people have actually gained these things through, let's say, porn videos. You see, so these young men who are like the gentleman said, the more you think about it, the more you see that some people, there's a lady who told me some time ago that, I know my husband doesn't go out. He's not the type who likes going out. He doesn't go, he doesn't drink, he doesn't do anything. He goes to church, he's always holding his Bible. But the only thing the problem he has, which not many people know, is addiction for sex. And any woman who's...
So that's his problem there. So the addiction to sex is the issue. I'll take another caller. I'll take another caller and I'll get back to you on this, Dr. Egan. We're talking sex addiction in men. Hello, good morning. You're live on GTV. What's your name? It's working, Papa. Good morning. Hello? Listen, you are... call us back 054-366-4264. We're looking at sex addiction in men. My guest is Dr. Richard Egan. He's a doctor, biomedical researcher, and public and global health scientist. We've debunked the myth that sex addiction is not real. He's actually spoken about the fact that it is real and what the causes are, physiological and psychological, and the fact that it's a kind of a mental health disorder. You may not have to go check yourself into a psychiatric hospital, but it's something that is real and requires help. For somebody who thinks or feels that they are addicted to sex, what should they be doing, Dr. Egan?
You see, sometimes I would like to advise our brothers. Okay. Sometimes we just say to ourselves, well, me, I'm spoiled because the only thing that makes me, you see, people actually use terms like that. Oh, you are too spoiled. You may know such people. Yeah, you may know such people on campus, people you have been to school with. And you can see that every day this guy is actually talking about sex. Every day this guy wants a girl in. Every day he's standing by the road. And this person has now grown up to become maybe an MP or a minister or something, and they're still doing that.
They're still doing it.
You say, well, you see, they could be doing that.
Yeah.
And you see, I don't blame such people. Just like I don't blame anybody with mental health issues.
All right, Dr. Egan, I hate to do this, but let me just take this call and I'll get back to you on this. Just hold that thought.
No problem.
Good morning. Hi.
No problem.
Hello, good morning. You are live on GTV. Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yes, go ahead. Your name, where you're calling from, what's your contribution?
My name is Richard. I'm calling from Kaswa.
Okay, go ahead. Turn the volume on your TV to 0 and speak to me through the phone. When you call, just turn the volume to 0 so we can speak through the phone. Richard, Kaswa, go ahead. Richard is gone. All right. So, free advice. When you call through to GTV on 054-366-4264, turn the volume to 0 and then speak to me through the phone so that we can hear you. You're back. Go ahead.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes, go ahead. Your name, where you're calling from, your contribution.
Yeah, I'm Richard. I'm calling from Kaswa. Like what the doctor is saying about it, because I also I'm happy that experience up to now. I'm addicted to the internet, and I'm not feeling comfortable.
Okay.
I want to ask, what can I do?
Okay. I mean, how do you know you're addicted?
Like, I normally have desire for women. If I'm not around the woman, I don't feel comfortable.
Okay. So are you comfortable now? Richard? Hello, Richard? Well, Doctor, let's go to the other Richard, Dr. Egan. So he says when there's no woman around him, he's not comfortable.
Yes. You see, there are realities that we all have to come to understand. If you have a husband or boyfriend who have no control, they have actually what we call the compulsive, obsessive, compulsive behavior about sex. Anytime they see you, they want to touch you. They want to touch you sexually. They want to do something. They want to really have sex. This person has something. You see, human beings only are living because we have something to satisfy our brain chemistry, something to make it, to turn our dopamine and all those the chemicals that actually makes us happy. That's all we live by anyway. So if money, going to search for money, or your work is what gives you that pleasure, it is just something that will turn you on and make you feel good. The feel-good factor is what we all need anyway.
All right.
And it is just a brain chemistry thing, apart from the environment, and apart from the way you, because I also know some women or men who don't have the desire. A gentleman came to me just recently in Ghana here, when he says he doesn't have the desire for sex at all. Okay. When I asked him his history, I found out that the mother who was actually bringing them up was actually a kind of person who will just march you to the church and tell you that you can't have sex. You can't have, you don't have to think about sex. You don't have to, you see, he was suppressed and compressed. The desire was actually pushed somewhere. So he has never had it, and now he's a grown-up man who is about 29, and have never had, well, it's just the first time he's having sex in his life, and he doesn't even enjoy it.
He doesn't enjoy it because he was turned off by what was pumped into his head when he was younger.
Exactly.
Let's take another call.
See,
let's take another call, Dr. Egan. I'll get back to you shortly for solutions, okay? Let's get some problems first and then we'll get solutions. 0543664264. Good morning, you're live on GTV.
Okay, good morning.
Hi, your name, where are you calling from, your issue?
My name is Michael calling from Takrady.
Go ahead.
All right. This is what I want to share with the doctor. And it has to do with when you are brought up without your mother, that intimacy is there, or having so much love for a woman. But here is a case: you get married, and the woman doesn't have time for you. So how do you get that intimacy that you felt like having from a mother that you're not getting from your wife? So this is where you can also be found of going out.
When you're not getting enough intimacy from your wife?
Yeah.
Then you get addicted to other women?
Exactly.
Is this personal or from a friend?
Oh, this is personal thing.
Okay.
And,
how are you coping?
It's like you need to find the happiness with your wife, but you don't find it with your wife. You find it with a different woman. And if you want to smile, that is the woman that you'll be smiling with. So how would you be called? This guy is a womanizer because he has a wife somewhere, but he's laughing nicely or sharing good times with women out there.
Are you describing yourself?
Oh, I can describe myself that way. So times, instead of sex, I'll run home. And when you run home and you don't get it from home, when you go, you have to take your keys and go back.
So you run out?
When you run out, because you've gotten to a point, maybe you might end up sleeping with a woman.
So how do you solve it? How do you solve it, man?
Yeah, that come home, right? Okay?
How do you solve it? I mean, if you don't want to sleep with another woman, but you feel for it, how do you do it? What do you do?
At times, I just alcohol myself and sleep.
Wow.
Sure.
Let's hear from Dr. Egan, but thank you very much for calling, for sharing your experience. Dr. Egan, so this man is talking about lack of intimacy at home, which is pushing him out.
Yes. Yeah, this is what I was trying to say earlier on. And a lot of interviews, the number of interviews we've done actually tells us that some of these men are vulnerable men who started. You see, there are so many homes in this country where suppression, oh, no, you don't go this, you don't do that, you don't watch this. So the moment the person just gets opportunity, you see, to go out, then it becomes a different thing. Because this person, this gentleman who just spoke, is actually speaking for many, many, many guys out there. You call them womanizers because you think they are spoiled. You think that they are not normal. Yes, they're normal to some extent because they have psychological issues. And the psychological issue is down to...
I think we may have lost Dr. Egan. Okay, go ahead.
What do you call it?
Yeah.
The intimacy, the love. And your wife doesn't know how to give it to you. This is what I feel sorry for the guy. And if you understand what I'm saying, you will feel sorry for him too. He doesn't have it. There's something he wants. There's a pleasure. Something gives him pleasure in the head. I'm talking about your brain. The only thing that makes us happy on this planet is the satisfaction.
Oh, we missed that. The only thing that makes us happy is the satisfaction of...
Sorry?
You were saying the only thing that makes us happy in this world is the satisfaction of... And then I couldn't hear you again.
Of actually what we feel within the brain. Everything is about our brain. Everything is about... In fact, the control, everything that we do is just based on how the brain feels about what we are doing. So if sex is what actually makes you feel, you get that feel-good factor, you get that from this sex. You see, this man wouldn't like to go out. Or anybody that have this problem wouldn't like to go out. If this person, because sometimes one way of helping someone with this kind of behavior or situation or problem is just to give this person intimacy. If you, the lady or the woman is living with, actually understands that he might have a problem.
Okay. So what are the solutions? We've talked a lot about problems now. How do we solve these issues, sex addiction? How do you solve it?
Of course, if you have a guy, first you need to understand the telltale signs. So if somebody is actually having sexual acts or activities with multiple partners. That's for starters. It means that this person is actually having a very insatiable sexual appetite. That's the first step. Because we can only, treat this person when we know all these things, whether he's having sexual activities with multiple partners, whether he's having neglectful responsibilities at work, at home, he's only focused on that, on sex, whether the person is having dismissiveness of risky sexual behavior. He doesn't care. He can go in for anything at all. He can go in for any girl. You see, such people don't care about who they sleep with.
Okay.
People will tell you, oh, I saw him, having sex with Nkatia seller just down the road. And he's a very, well, you would say a very high-ranking old gentleman in the area. And you say that he's mad. Yes, he's mad to some extent.
But there's a reason. For that behavior, and we will get to solutions. I'll take the very last caller, Dr. Egan. So bear with me. I'll just take this last caller, and then we get solutions. Hi, good morning. Welcome to the show. Hello. Good morning. Yeah, good morning. Your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm Osman Ibrahim, calling from Kumasi.
Osman from Kumasi.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. What's on your mind? Tell us.
I have a question. My question is, what are the consequences of sex addiction?
What are the consequences of sex addiction?
Yeah.
You're sounding like an examiner from WAEC. But don't worry, we'll get the answers for you. We'll get the answers for you. Thank you very much, Osman from Kumasi. Simple question. Consequences of sex addiction and then solutions, Dr. Egan, as we wrap this up.
Oh, the consequences is, like I said, I mean, these people with this condition, these people I feel so sorry for with this problem will go on until they reach a point where, there's not much that can be done. And that point may be that he may actually contract a sexually transmitted disease, like HIV, or like any of those ones we discussed the last time, chlamydia, gonorrhea, or more serious ones like HIV. These are the consequences you may come across. You may also come across a point where you may not actually be able to psychologically love a person. You will find it very difficult to love. You will be the lover for many, but a lover for one, no one particular person. So it's like you are a man for many girls. This is what makes you happy. You are happy because you think you have so many girls around you. It may have started from boyhood days when you were going to school and you say, oh, I am the king in this school. All the girls in this school love me. They love me. You can carry that thing on. It's just like those in the university when they were chasing these girls every day. It becomes an addiction. You always want to chase a girl, whether you are married or not. It's a serious problem. It's something that is not very simple. When you see this man, noble men, we've seen people who are actually going for call girls, or what do you call it in Ghana? I don't know the term they use for those girls. Do also go out there they serve as surrogate wives or girlfriends for these
concubines,
men.
Side chicks, concubines.
Well, things like that.
Yeah.
So those people are actually there because they know there are so many of them. And the sad reality is, if you have, let's say, a leader in your area who is supposed to be concentrating on your national development or something, somebody in charge of some big position in your community, society, and this person is hooked onto this addiction, and this person can only think about only one thing, the girl who comes in today or tomorrow to satisfy my need. He has a need. That need is there. And that need, you see, we have to assess where that need is from.
Okay.
What actually brought it on. So after that, when we find out the need in this guy, and we find out what he's been doing, and he has to be bold enough to say, I have the problem.
Yeah. So
every man who has addiction must be bold enough to have it.
Okay.
And it's not a shameful thing, because it's just like having addiction for food, for pornography, for anything.
Where can a sex addict get help, Dr. Egan? Where can a sex addict get help in Ghana?
Well, at the moment, having told you all these things about the causes and also the consequences, this person can contact someone like me. I can speak to him about other people's experiences. And also because it is not something that's very, very simple to solve anyway. It's a complex situation. When we say something is a complex situation, it is not just something you can just give paracetamol or this, that, or the other to solve it. It is a brain issue. It's a psychological issue. We have to take the person through behavioral psychotherapy or, any form of clinical psychological, treatment in order to help this guy getting over the issue.
Okay.
Because it's not as simple.
It's not that
but you need
simple.
a professional.
You need a professional.
You don't have to hide in it.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, a professional like myself, a doctor or psychologist, a psychotherapist, or somebody who has actually done serious research. But it's not just any ordinary doctor, because most doctors don't even have that problem. Many people, many of us, human beings, out there, they will tell you, many are hiding in the shadows with this serious problem. But they need to seek help. Today, I've told you that addiction of sex is there. It's a reality. It is not something you should. Or compulsive sexual desire is out there.
All right.
And that is the opposite of the person who cannot have sex at all. That's the opposite. So if you know you have sex addiction, please do not hide it anymore. Just contact me after the show. Or if you know somebody out there who is a psychologist, trained in this area, in this specialty, sexual, addiction area, please contact them. Don't be afraid, don't be shy. Many women or girlfriends out there know that their husbands do have this problem. They can't talk about it. They only take it to the pastor to pray for them. My sister, the pastor won't pray. Because it is not, you see, we spiritualize everything, as I said. We spiritualize everything in Ghana. And this thing is just a real psychological problem. It's a reality within the brain that needs to be resolved. I can give you the advice. I can also show you some supplementation, some supplements, things you can be taking to help, reorganize the brain chemistry.
What's the best way to get in touch with you, Dr. Egan? What's the best way? We don't have much time. What's the best way to reach you?
The best way is to get these numbers, please. I have this WhatsApp number when I'm here, because I'll be going back to the UK very soon. So when you take this number, you can contact me anytime from anywhere in the world. It's 0044 744 836 9303. 0044 744 836 9303.
Okay.
And today, in case if you want to contact me today, because I may be traveling early next week.
Right.
So today, if you want to contact me, you can reach me on 057 63 552.
Thank you.
057 63 552.
Okay. Thank you.
So,
Dr. Richard Egan is a doctor, but my biomedical researcher and public and global health scientist. We were talking on the subject of sex addiction in men. And if you enjoyed this conversation, please share it. If you're watching it on YouTube or on Facebook, please share it. Look for Ghana Broadcasting Corporation and share the stream. Don't keep a good thing to yourself. Sharing is caring. Still to come, I have a conversation with Sheikh Arimiya Shaibu, the spokesperson for the National Chief Imam, and Dr. Lawrence Tete, founder and president of the Worldwide Miracle Outreach. We're looking at the headlines this morning. There's a sit-down with Black Rasta, the broadcaster and musician and movie maker. He put out a very, very revealing documentary on arguably Ghana's greatest goalkeeper, Robert Mensah. Very touching documentary. It's out there on YouTube. Look for that documentary. We'll be talking about all the things that he's involved in. And then there's the third annual Inspiration Weekend tournament, and Valerie is having a chat with her guests on that. So that's a lot to look forward to, plus your messages that I'll be reading if you send them to me on 055-556-1034. Hashtag GTV Breakfast for the 9th of December 2021, Throwback Thursday. You stay with us. Headlines coming up in a bit.
Live from GBC Studio 1, this is the Breakfast Show.
Good morning.
It's a good morning, and we serve you breakfast.
Not just any breakfast.
Sizzling helping.
And there's much more on offer on GTV breakfast.
So what's your pleasure? Danvotrasie at that time of the morning.
You want it served buffet style, complimentary breakfast?
On-site restaurant.
Or room service?
We've got you covered.
From Monday to Friday at 6 a.m.
With a trusted team.
So never skip breakfast.
On GTV breakfast. Good morning, my neighbors.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It's a good morning, and we serve you breakfast.
Not just any breakfast.
Sizzling helping.
Yeah, all the time. Okay, let's take a peek. I brought my spine.
There are certain things that we do to help the children with their brushing.
And there's much more on offer on GTV breakfast.
You want it served buffet style?
On-site restaurant.
Complimentary breakfast?
Off of your plate should be vegetables.
So in my lifetime, I haven't seen Ghana Black Stars win an African Cup.
Can I show? Can I show what is written on the back?
Yes, definitely.
Where's the camera?
Just stand and turn.
So what's your pleasure? Danvotrasie at that time of the morning.
The show was Oba and dim.
The groom is sick.
What?
Malaria.
Malaria.
Lufat.
Injija woman malaria enka won to them. Lufat. Eye malaria drop a coupe.
And now you may kiss the bride.
Entrance Pharmaceuticals and Research Center. And aye Lufat. Lufat. A two malaria sententem. FDA. Ashesa ejedi inkratoi ajatum.
All SIM cards in Ghana must be registered again with only the Ghana card. Yes, only the Ghana card.
You will not be able to make voice calls, use mobile money services, internet, and all other services linked to your SIM card if you don't.
To register, dial *404# and follow the prompts. You will be required to send the following details on your Ghana card: Ghana card number, surname, first name, date of birth, and sex.
You will then receive a special code which you will present to your nearest service provider agent or customer care center for your biometric details to be captured. Remember to add your digital address.
Dial *404# on your phone to start registering your SIM card today.
For more information, contact your service provider on 100 or the National Communications Authority on toll-free number 0800 110622. Register your SIM card to stay connected.
From GBC Studio 1, this is the Breakfast Show.
Good morning.
It's a good morning, and we serve you breakfast.
Not just any breakfast.
Sizzling helping.
And there's much more on offer on GTV breakfast.
So what's your pleasure? Danvotrasie at that time of the morning.
You want it served buffet style, complimentary breakfast?
On-site restaurant.
Or room service?
We've got you covered.
From Monday to Friday at 6 a.m.
With a trusted team.
So never skip breakfast.
On GTV breakfast. Good morning, my neighbors.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It's a good morning, and we serve you breakfast.
Not just any breakfast.
Sizzling helping.
Yeah, all the time. Okay, let's take a peek. I brought my spine.
There are certain things that we do to help the children with their brushing.
And there's much more on offer on GTV breakfast.
You want it served buffet style?
On-site restaurant.
Complimentary breakfast?
Off of your plate should be vegetables.
So in my lifetime, I haven't seen Ghana Black Stars win an African Cup.
Can I show? Can I show what is written on the back?
Yes, definitely.
Where's the camera?
Just stand and turn.
So what's your pleasure? Danvotrasie at that time of the morning. So never skip breakfast.
On GTV breakfast.
From Monday to Friday at 6 a.m.
We've got you covered with a trusted team.
From GBC Studio 1, this is The Breakfast Show.
Good
morning.
It's a good morning, and
I mean, that song came out in 1982. Can you imagine? Almost 40 years where the material was too much for the people. I mean, everything was just baggy and flapping. The videos were decent. No naked girls, no swearing. This is just nice, wholesome. You can watch this video with your children, and when the scenes come up, you don't have to say, go to bed, go to bed. You know some of the videos these days, when you're sitting with your children and the video comes on, you say, haven't you got any homework to do? Go to bed. But not with that, not with that. And my guests were nodding their heads. Dr. Lawrence, when did you hear this song? Where were you?
In fact, I had finished secondary school.
For real?
About to jump into university. And it was a big deal. Cool and a gun.
It don't be easy.
And at that time, it was Club Liquat.
Club Liquat?
Club Liquat of Kanishi.
Not Kanishi. What is there now? What is that Club Liquat now?
I think it's become a restaurant or something like that. But at that time, it was the evening jazz. When they begin to play Cool and the Gang, it's a big deal. Decent, nice. Those words were words that were not profane.
No. This is decent music.
I think we are missing something.
Yes. Did you have an afro back then?
Oh, I used to put Akuko Permin in my back bush, and then in the evening, my cousins, the ladies who plait it for me. When you get up in the morning, you comb it, but it's a big deal.
Oh, every night they'll plait your hair for you?
Yeah.
For you to grow?
Yeah, because you have to get, and then yourself, you feel very good around. And I know one day, I've listened. So when I see our young men putting on that afro, but ours was decent.
It was a decent one. Shake. You remember this song?
Well, my family wasn't a fan, so I remember very well. Sometimes we had ourselves to go and at Takwa, for example, there was what we call the pickups.
Pickups. What is a pickup?
It was a band. Okay. This thing.
All right.
And then it was just in the local community. Sometimes we had to go and then listen to,
and learn some of the moves. Dr. Tete, what were the moves? What were the moves that
it was powerful.
Seriously. Dr. Lawrence Tete is the founder and president of the Worldwide Miracle Outreach, and he's sitting next to Sheikh Arabiya Shaibu, who is an imam and a spokesperson to the National Chief Imam. Gentlemen, salam alaikum, shalom to both of you.
Alaikum salam.
Fantastic. Let's just go through the headlines quickly and we'll dive into the stories. Ghanaian Times leads with a picture of the president, hands clasped in a blue tie with a crest on his left lapel. At the second Kofi Annan Peace Security Forum, he says, I'll hand over power peacefully in 2025. He pledges and challenges fellow West African leaders to do the same. This is a story on anti-Galamsey fight. It is not dead. And the minister warns as Operation Halt 2 strikes in the western region. There's another story on a lawmaker and 6 others arrested over motor traffic offences at airport. It's on page 3. The PDP is talking about reviewing 1992 constitution to make it about development and the people. And West African Exams Council's results of 179 candidates, over 1,300 subject results gone. The finder leads with COVID-19. Students risk losing $17 trillion. That's a huge number. And the Daily Ghanaian Guide has a scandal. COVID-19 testing fraud at Jubilee House caught on camera in that paper. I'll start with the president declaring that he will hand over power peacefully in 2025 and is asking fellow West African leaders to do the same. At first sight, when I saw this headline, Dr. Tete, I was thinking, does the president need to say that he will hand over peacefully in 2025? We've been having peaceful handovers since 1990, since 2001, really. What's the import of this particular declaration, Dr. Tete?
Personally, I think it was a very wise statement. If we look at the trend of what is happening in our sub-region, most leaders finish their term and they want to rewrite the constitution. They want to reinvent the wheel. They want to do something else. What is going on in Togo? what is going on in Ivory Coast, what is happening in Guinea, and the likes are issues that are of great concern. And I think as a leader, I am happy he's made a statement like this and that he's going to walk the talk. It's very easy for our leaders to create a mess for us. If we decide to put together a few people to try to change the constitution, which a lot of people do without looking at the bigger picture, they destroy the stand of the nation. So I'm very happy. I know most people will not see the way I'm saying. I'm very happy that President Nana Danko Akufo-Addo will see the need and the wisdom in saying that when I finish, I'll hand over. Because most people, when they don't hand over, they create mayhem. And you don't know the more of life that was lost in Guinea. When I got the statistics, I got very sad. I remember I was in constant touch with Guinea at that time because one of my proteges, sister's daughter, spiritual daughter, friend, the ambassador of Guinea, Ghana ambassador to Guinea and the sub-region, Ambassador Jane Aheto, were very concerned. So my wife and I daily will call to find out what is happening. And because of that, we kept track on the Guinea issue. And the statistics I got from the number of lives that was lost, I think it is good that Ghana continues to. And remember, over the years, most part of this, our people in this region of ours have looked up to Ghana as safe haven and people believe in constitution. And of course, we've had a trend where over the years, even in the Fourth Republic, peacefully we've handed over. Even if we make a little noise, that's okay. I love it when we make noise, but we don't kill ourselves. So I'm very happy the president made a statement, and I think kudos to him. I hope that all of us make it. Don't forget that apart from the fact that President Rollins of blessed memory lived for a very long time, when he finally handed over and got into the Fourth Republic, he got a lot of commendation around the globe. And so I'm happy with this statement. And I believe that in the spirit of unity and looking at the bigger picture of our nation, these are the statements we need to make to also walk the talk.
Sheikh, do the other countries in the ECOWAS sub-region respect Ghana and listen to what we say?
Yeah, I mean, Ghana has now been touted as a beacon of hope in Africa and an oasis of peace and harmony surrounded by nations that are so turbulent. I mean, that is a factual statement, and that is what is making Ghanaians so proud anywhere we have traveled. That is true, and I want to challenge anyone who says that he's gone traveled out of this country and he's not being applauded, you know, by the peaceful and harmony of our country. I have traveled out, and I have met with people who just by mere mention of Ghana, I mean, they are so proud of you. So it's something that we need to keep, and we make it part and parcel of our identity, if you like. I mean, we are, as a nation, we already have our identity, but this has, as a value and a quality and an attribute, has come to add to our, so that whenever you are a Ghanaian, being known for what other reasons, you are also known for somebody who stands for peace and harmony. And I think that, therefore, anything that in our mind and our philosophy thinking that undermines this kind of possible positive identity needs to be protected, that we don't fall into that. So I think that, you see, there is nothing wrong applauding what is already good, adding in order to encourage and inspire. But we have not seen a trend in our African continent. And Museveni is there, Mugabe is there.
Mugabe is gone.
He's gone, but he was his bad example, his bad examples still lives on. And sometimes, what is wisdom if we are not guided by the result of past mistakes? What is it to call it wisdom? Wisdom can be inspired, but also wisdom is the product of accumulated experience. That's why when we are children, elders are wiser, and then it can be very disappointing if an elder also makes certain very terrible mistakes. And so, having learned from all these bad examples, Ghana must really show that we are a departure. We are a complete departure from that. And sometimes statements are very, very important. So for me, it's something good. Already our constitution has made it that 2 terms you have to go. But we have seen attempts that have been made by a president who take advantage of the oppositions to manipulate to do anything to ensure that they would change a certain clause or provision of the Constitution to allow them to stand again. Nobody has done it. And it also undermines the confidence and respect for people who have left power or who are in power. So we can see the case of the Ivorian president, when he was going to intervene in the Malian people, they felt that he didn't have the moral authority to do that. Yeah. And so I think we must say that it's plausible that such a statement on such a very important platform, because he's the head of ECOWAS, and he must set the best example. And then also the platform on which he spoke is international, and he's going to be held by what he's been said. So I think it's good that as a president he has made that declaration of his readiness, and that is also to show in his mind that power is transient. However long you keep, you will go. Oh, and it's temporal. Political power is temporal, right?
All right. Okay. What do you think? President says you hand over peacefully in 2025. Necessary statement? De rigueur. I mean, he will go when he has to go. Is it symbolic? What do you think about it? Let's know. 055-556-1034. I have the feeling that I need to be speaking with Valerie on some keeping an eye issue. I don't know whether Valerie is ready. Valerie, are you ready for us?
Yes, I am.
Okay, what are you keeping an eye on?
We're going to Asylum Down. Remember, we went there a couple of weeks ago.
Yes.
We're looking at a bridge which was in bad conditions. Okay. Usually when we go to these places and we come back, we get results after a few weeks.
Okay.
And so our guy Jay is back there at Asylum Down, the bridge, to see if the authorities, they watched us, they heard us, and if they've done something about it. So we are going to be pretty shortly switching cameras and getting comfy in Asylum Down. Okay. Pretty shortly we'll be doing that with my guy Jay. We kept an eye at the Asylum Down Bridge a couple of weeks ago. So we are going back there today to find out if Keep an Eye has gotten results this time.
Okay.
Right, and so my ear tells me that we are going to be speaking to Alan, actually. So Alan is looking at the shopping sprees happening. Yesterday I was saying that there wasn't any money, so people are not shopping. But actually, when we went on the ground yesterday, we realized that people were shopping. And so today we are going to the Makola market, I beg your pardon, and Alan is on standby, and he'll be speaking to some traders, market women, generally gauge the atmosphere before the activities begin. Good morning, Alan. What can you report? I see a busy street behind you, and it's 7:30. 6:30, 7:30.
Hi, good morning, Valerie. Good morning, Ghana. Welcome to #GTV Breakfast, and this is Keep an Eye. It's 16 days to Christmas, and our cameras are out to find out what is happening. Yesterday, we brought you excerpts from the Kimbu area, and we saw how market traders, stall owners, as well as shoppers were interacting as they prepare for Christmas. Indeed, it is no different from what is happening here today. I'm on the Kojo Thompson Road at the Makala Central Business District. This road stretches all the way from the post office and cuts across all the way to Dabraka, part of the Greater Accra region. Indeed, up ahead is the Rollins Park, the once famous Rollins Park, and then the Makola shopping mall is just to my left. What you can see in the distance is what is normally referred to as the Methodist Book Depot, and that's close to the famous Makola Law School. Indeed, what you can see this morning is a busy Makola where shoppers as well as traders all getting about trying to get a bargain for Christmas. We this morning wanted to speak to some traders especially to find out what the situation is. Is it everyone we see shopping, or some are window shopping? Indeed, it is 16 days before Christmas, and so some may be window shopping and some may be actually shopping. Let me quickly grab a word with two traders who are on standby to speak to me and find out what the situation is on the market. Mama Pacha Martin. Pacha, yeah, Joe. Me Pacha Pomu to say. Pacha, Yamiado, me hoye. I can't know what you see, not Brunya, I bet to ye, a gamu to say. Me Pacha, be more dear, your family a queer for market me so. Ebia, if you 20th one year, who so they are. Me a dry the same me who so last year the night mammy but this year dear. Me who so cry. What can I say? My main fan to and ne that a tosso and Kunubrunya Busuminumu. Say, Ode to say a fidel Musa say not at the same Casana Becano. Oh, I feel that's a say, yeah, chair. I feel me too say, Yalena Banitison and Yamana Bassa. Me who so cry say, Juma, ye say. You talk about kwam dia kwata dia ne adi. You told me now nam dia kwata dia ne say hand to man na me say enko ye mame kura me say ye bonya me mpa say edwom be sesa na neoma atumi akoyi amawo ma me I'm joined by one woman who's also known as Action Woman. Action Woman has joined us, so I'm going to ask her. Action Woman speaks down. I earlier spoke with Mami Akwam. Action Woman lebine to yote.
Yo jogba ye yesu gba mi.
Shida ha Yehowa. O fa lebine te to moten.
Oh jala le mi ejo. Wona no kono na. Kona ne amoko he no ko chana ni son. E wo mi pa man bi fai. Onu pa ni o mama me gbele nu tumu. Ni papele wo lenche wo factories. Ni me ana ko na mechu. She China ni bia is too much. No so ayo. Mono ba na no ai China kutoka China atale. No so na me heo. E wo ame bomodi ame.
Kia no jino na heo be bo no jino no ba ho.
Dabi no ni wo te ame ko small no ho mo. E che no kefte. E wo kama wo no de fite no e tai ko be ka ba. E wo dongo mini enwe do amesika show. E wo won pa fa ke dibi e ajo fi han wo ni.
Many can you jira ke ameba be ni bi ajala jino ni ha na ametron bo na mba he. E wo ka ejala wa ba menya me he.
Oh, ka ejala wa menya me shi mi no ni me decide ji kan ejala wa na fe le fan kwe ba wa. Shi ka je ejala wa atensidi. No efite. Oh, no efite. Enu try ka won bo wo ma le nchenyomo.
You Action Woman, we're going further up to try and speak to some of the traders as well as the shoppers if they would spare us a word or two. It appears there is so much activities going on this morning, all in preparation towards Christmas. Indeed, Christmas is 16 days away from today. And what you can see is activities relative to shoppers. Let me also try and grab a word with this shopper or this trader and see what she's going to say. Mama Pacho Martin.
Eja.
Apomwe.
Ewadu.
Akana fuadu nsia na bronya abeto yen. Edwamu te sai.
Edwamu de se de enye ye ba wanda so se ebia ekwanim kakra ebeye ye na se pa de enyanye ye.
Uto ntare auto ebronya ntare no no.
Oh, obi bo be pie. Obo so a ode be kwa adwuma. Obo so akwa so ode be ko enti a mix.
Enti wodi ni nyina frafra. Na mama hwe we dia me say obi sa bi da mama mu sa hwe. Enwema oton no ya na ebo eda so etesen.
Penise sikoyi no ana so ye hu kakra ye hwe de be to so.
Empanin se agrobia ene ne nkyirase na agrobia so ne ne de fie ho kop. Se wo bi ben wa no pay na se wo pe ne wo de bronya eda ne afutu adbema no ne ne awonto
antare no obu atare no oto no ala so o de be pie night a o de be ko ba bi anadwo a ye che ne be se de ahye no enti bia ne be se de ahye no
me da se pa. And so once again, as I mentioned earlier, Christmas is 16 days away from today, and here at the Makola shopping area. Indeed, activities here are really, as you can see, very interactive, very active, and people are going about their business as normal and as usual. Shoppers and traders alike, everyone looking forward, except that one common statement made right from yesterday till now is things are hard. This is Keep an Eye on #GTV Breakfast. Back to you in the studio, Valerie.
Thank you, Alan. That was Alan who came to us from the Makola area, and we got some interesting sound bites there. I'm going to hand over to Kafan. He's still discussing what's trending on the headlines with the Sheikh and the Reverend.
The Sheikh, the Reverend, and the Kudeta. It's like a movie. It's like a movie. What do you make of this Christmas vibe, Sheikh? I mean, just from what you just saw and heard.
Well, what can I say? I mean, the economic condition, I think that the world it's in a certain kind of economic crisis. And if you don't take care, you will be attacked by hypertension because of the stress and the hopelessness that you begin to feel. So sometimes I talk to myself alone. I say, look, at this stage, what we need to do is to hold on to God. Well, he's a true hope to us. What you can have no power to control. I mean, just look at our oil situation. You are producing, but you are also not in control of it. The dollar and how it fluctuates is out of our control. Everything. Some people somewhere have put a system that will ensure that the poor will continue to get poorer and the rich will continue to get richer. But I think that we need to do, our economic managers need to do a lot of good work to ensure that even in the midst of the crisis, we will bring down the hardship so that we don't hear some of these comments. Around Christmas, people want to get a lot of money, not Christmas alone, any festivity. You want to get a bit, children want to wear something new, you want to kill some animals, make the season worthwhile, enjoying, and so on. So when these things are not coming, then the family begins to feel unhappy. The husbands who are supposed to work hard and produce and bring feel so stressful because a lot of demands. Wives that are supposed to be the hope and the support and affection of the family are not feeling happy because they cannot even give what children want to get, and it can be very disturbing. So trusting God. We hope. Look, let's hold on to God. Other than that, you die.
Reverend, maybe those days where there was a kind of biscuit that only appeared around Christmas time. I don't know what they were doing for the 11 months of the year, but around December, all of a sudden, Piccadilly appears. And then all these interesting things that we ate only around that time. Christmas on a different level. These days,
I think we've lost the essence of Christmas. Even from the biblical point of view, Christmas is a celebration of the birth of Christ. Joy to the world.
Not market issues, eh?
No. Joy to the world. I think and for me, Christmas can be every day, if that is what it is.
Yeah.
But we need to, like Sheikh rightly said, the world as a whole is in crisis. And in this day and age, even COVID has made it more worse. The church is in crisis, the mosque is in crisis, the body of Christ is in crisis. As a matter of fact, politicians are in crisis. And so we need to get back to the drawing board and see how we all together in a collective way can get this wrong. The women who are complaining are upset. Look at the way she spoke. There's no money, there's no vim, there is no support, and the only source of sustenance for her is that market. So we need to, and that is why our leaders must wake up to be able to understand the needs of the people. We should even be very mindful with the way we behave, some of us, that God has blessed a little, that we don't use it to rub in the face of people. Because a lot of people who are becoming very upset now is because of even the lifestyle of certain people. And like he rightly said, the rich want to be richer. And they want to leave the poor poorer. And so by doing that, it makes people in the market very upset. 2 weeks ago, the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, about 3 weeks ago, because I went to Budapest last week, came and we went to Mokala Market. Spent 2 hours in Mokala, something I've not done in years. But a white man came, that's all they wanted to do, so I followed them. And some of the comments I had there, I think all of us, you and I and all of us here, who seem to be privileged a little, to start thinking about the needy.
What did you hear?
I think people felt like a lot of people are getting better and they're not concerned. And sometimes I even also think that our political leaders on both sides want to show off rather than helping the needy. And so we need to wake up. A lot of people who are privileged today don't seem to understand the need of certain people, and we play them down. And sometimes the way we brush people off when they complain about their need does not help them to feel like we support them. So let us all be philanthropists. Let us all be ambassadors of peace. Let us all help in our own small way. And let us realize that where some people are now, it's just by the grace of God that we are not there. A lot of people, and don't forget that the houses we slept in 40 years, 30 years ago, people are still sleeping in those houses. So if God has blessed us a little, we shouldn't be too stingy and greedy to keep grabbing whilst others have nothing to live on.
It reminds me of the lyrics of a song that our guest, is Black Rasta, he was playing on his song yesterday on xylophone 102.1. He says, there's a song by Culture, I believe, and it says, the rich must share what they have with the poor. Otherwise, the poor will share their poverty with them. And you don't want to share poverty. Poverty is not something you want to share. So,
no, you see, this is a very important point.
Yeah.
You see, when God blesses you with any advantage, you must understand God's philosophy and wisdom for doing you so. Now, God wants to provide an avenue by which he can make his compassion manifest in human experience.
And he works through people, right?
He works through people. So when he gives you money, it is not because of you alone. So in your wealth, the poor will have hope. When he gives you power and authority, it's because the weak must be protected. That's why he gave it to you. But for that, if you have 10 cars, how many of the cars do you sit in? I mean, when you are moving out now, you see it. You have 10 houses. In how many of them do you
actually live?
It is because if you understand the philosophy of wealth, then you don't become arrogant because of what you have, but you make people happy out of what you have, and that is when they become your protectors.
Indeed, indeed. Well, your thoughts on the spirit of Christmas and the philosophy around this time and just giving, let us know. 05555611034. Still to come, a conversation with Black Rasta up close and personal. And then we're looking at something very interesting that Valerie will be dealing with. It's the 3rd annual Inspiration Weekend Tournament. Very interesting. I can't wait for that. It's been a happy time for a lot of SHS students because the WASSCE results have arrived, but it's also quite sad for those who didn't do very well. You know, I think their world has come to an end. So today's Ghanaian Times 2021 WASSCE results: WAEC cancels results of 179 candidates, 1,339 subject results. So this is affecting a lot of people, and there was a statement issued by the head of public affairs of WAEC, Mrs. Agnes Tay Kujo. So various malpractices continue to be practiced, bringing in foreign materials, including mobile phones, into exam rooms. I mean, you're not even allowed to have mobile phones in school. Then you take it to the exam hall, you know. Tearing off parts of question papers. Hey. and collusion, you know, going into illegal alliances with invigilators and examiners. And I remember when I was in university, there was a lady who came to the exam room with a very long maxi skirt. And then when she sat down, she raised the maxi. The maxi became a mini. And on her thighs were formula. Statistics formula. So this is a low-tech way of bringing information. So the information was on her thighs. She brought her thighs to the room, you know, and just raised the long skirt, and then, of course, she was caught. You know, all kinds of things have happened, but it's happening at the lower levels, and it's really worrying. Dr. Tete, I mean, the cheating is too much.
Well, cheating is not a new thing.
Yes.
It's like sin is not a new thing.
But the children are learning it too early, you know.
I studied in Europe, and you get shocked.
What kind of things were they doing?
What kind of things Europeans can do? It's shocking. I remember many years ago, my first time at LSC, I didn't hear a word of what the professor said. He spoke English language. I thought I was a very brilliant guy. But the accent, that it took me time for me to even understand the accent. And I asked my Nigerian brothers and some of my Korean brothers, and I realized that I think I was even doing better. They couldn't even hear more at all. And we had Diana, who said she was going to help her, took her to the cafeteria. That was worse, because her accent was even worse than the professor. And so that is not a new thing. What we need to do is to see how we can get our schools and examination councils structured properly, so some of these more practices can be kept. Because at the end of the day, if you have to cheat to get up there, you become a cheater for the rest of your life. That is one gain that I also noticed in Europe, that when you virtually go to some of the exams, even in the end, it becomes oral examination. You cannot cheat there. You face the professor.
You talk the subject.
You talk the subject. And if you don't know, you don't know.
So,
so there's a way in Hungary where I studied before going to LSE. In Hungary, you need 51% to pass an exams. Written is 50%. And the oral is 50%.
Wonderful.
So if you get to cheat and you get all the 50% right, you are going to be the professor. It's called Sobeli. Name Chok Duma Nike Sobeli. When you finish with them, you know whether you know, you don't know. And if you get 0 there, it means you fail.
Exactly.
So there is no, you won't learn. Now, I think that our system now needs to be revived a little.
I think your suggestion, this oral thing is such a great idea, you know. If you can't talk about your subject, then you don't know the subject.
So they put 1,000 questions in the box, and then you go and you pick 4 out of it, and that is your exams.
Nice.
I've seen people collapse after picking it.
Nice. So you go and pick your own questions.
You pick your own questions. So you sign your own deference. And so anybody who studied in Eastern Europe, we went through that. And so there's no way you can study in Eastern Europe and say you cheat your way through. Because even if you get through to the written examination, you are caught still in oral examination. You must know the subject. You can learn all the 990 something subjects, and if you are not happy, sure of the last 4 you didn't touch, if you're not fortunate and that's what you pick from the box, then that is your end. And so if we begin to do things that we saw, because this is sad, our children are supposed to be the future we have. And if our children will have to go to exams and go and cheat before they succeed, we'll end up getting bad leaders who are not on top of their course. You cannot cheat through to become a medical doctor. You cannot cheat through to become a lawyer. You cannot cheat through to become a teacher. And remember, you have to be taught in order for you to be a teacher. And so we have a responsibility there. And all of us, I keep saying this thing, that in these battles, it is not a blame battle. We need a massive united front. I keep emphasizing, it's only through a massive united front that we can fight this cancer. Because what we do normally is that we end up passing blames and it becomes a political tussle. Instead of looking at this thing that is very holistic, we need a united front, and I call it a massive united front. All hands on decks, because our children will be, and let's face it, I sit on some of the panels interview for students who are going to scholarship. I mean, Eastern Europe, most of the thing, Scholar Secretariat and some of those boards, you sit on the interview board, and you notice that what we knew when we were teenagers, our children today don't know it. They spent all the time of the... I've seen students going to do master's degree on scholarship, and they don't know who is the head of their region and what their regional capital is. And it's very saddening. They don't know things we knew when we were doing O-levels. In O-levels, we can rattle all the ministers, their deputies, and the regions. The students today who are doing master's degree in geography, and they don't know the regional capitals. And that is saddening. So we need to do something about the education system again. And I must say this, that for me, making the religious organizations lose control over the schools was one of the worst things that happened to us. Whether it's Islamist school or Christian school, it brought some level of discipline and it helped. But liberalizing everything has made a lot of boys and girls gain certain freedom that is not helping them to learn.
Thank you for your submission. I mean, you just gave some free consultancy to the exams council. I mean, I love that idea of you go and pick your own questions. I mean, to force you to study.
You have no choice.
And then the fact that you have to have an oral examination. I mean, that is just brilliant. Because if you can't talk about your subject,
look, I read economics and international relations.
So you spoke about economics.
And I speak about economics. And you speak before 4 professors. You're speaking economics, you're speaking statistics, you're speaking econometrics. I mean, if you know, you know. If you don't know, you don't know. So anybody who studied in Eastern Europe, if you look at them, It was the West that wanted to undermine the credibility of that system. And they make it, and some cheap people who don't understand education, this one studied in Eastern Europe, but trust me, those of us who studied Eastern Europe, how did I get to marry Barbara? I was teaching her in London. She was studying in the UK. I leave Eastern Europe to come and teach her in London, and she fell in love with me, oh God.
So it's good to teach. You may find a wife, my brother. You the sharks.
I'm a drummer.
You may teach and find a wife.
Now, anytime she get a privilege to clarify it, what I say stands.
Yes, it is so.
She fell in love with me.
You did the teaching.
Marriage is good.
It's
so
good.
It wasn't an evil thing.
No, it wasn't an evil
so
thing.
It's good.
It's good. Sheikh, I mean, results cancelled, subject results. I mean, it's just bad. Dr. Tete has given us some ideas on how things can change so that we have less of this kind of bad news. Because it's not exciting to be reading this bad news all the time about kids cheating to get grades, you know.
You see, I mean, how terrible and disturbing this thing is. I put it in this kind of illustration. What will you expect of a student who cheated to pass examination? He did his master's, and he became the director of WAEC.
He became the director of WAEC?
Yeah.
Who had cheated?
Who had cheated. At the lower level, that's how he passed examinations. You see, so how terrible this is. And for all those who are collaborators, some from the exams council itself, staff of and management, and then the teaching staff of our schools who collaborate to do this, if they can understand the enormity of the evil that they are introducing to these children, they would have stopped. The corruption and the dishonesty that we are introducing these children to, and there's nothing that we can expect. And it can be very painful with respect to those who even have not cheated and yet have been bundled together. I make a personal confession, which very, very bad. And in the year that I was completing my school, I will not mention the school because except those who know me, there was a leakage. There was a leakage. And we heard that it was going to be done, and students were clamoring for it.
They wanted the precautions.
Exactly. So I make a confession here that our was cancelled in the year that I completed training college. Yes, it was cancelled. But you know what? I felt sad and angry, but I was not surprised. I felt sad because I have been affected, because by God's grace, I happen to be one of the brilliant students. So some of us were being seen as the wicked ones because we were not allowing those things to happen. Sometimes under the pressure. Yeah. So it means, even at our level, this has happened before. It continues to happen, and now. So, and then the cumulative effect on it, even on our economy. Even on our economy, how dishonest that we can be. That's how I think that all of us must think through about this. And when we make a national pledge, you see, it's terrible the contradiction that you see in our lives. I promise on my honor
to be faithful,
and loyal to Ghana, my motherland. These words, when we mention these words, what do they mean to us? From the president down to the lowest person on our order, including our parliamentarians. And yet the contradiction is that even in exams, we are introduced to dishonesty, dishonest way of obtaining academic qualification. See, it's a terrible thing. It's a terrible thing that we should not think at it and then politicize it. Oh, when we were in power, the rate was this way. But when this was this way, it is not the issue, because the cumulative effect of it affects everybody.
Indeed.
And I think that if there can be any forum where we can really bring all the best brains, even including technology, that will assist us to be able to address this. And then the other, it's not easy, but the morality after that one is relative. But the morality, the moral consciousness of those who are managers of our examinations, the staff, for example, how much money are you going to gain by selling this? And then the evil will follow you, no blessing in your way.
Exactly. So the conversation is required to make these things happen.
Seriously.
You are responding, I mean, with alacrity to the issues that we have discussed so far.
the President and his promise to hand over peacefully, and then WAEC issues and how we can solve them with respect to cheating in exams. I'll read those messages on 055-556-1034 after we've gone to keep an eye like that with Leivao.
Yeah.
What's up?
I'm all right. I'm all right. Yeah, they're inside.
Give them. So I'll give you a virtual.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
E-face bump. It's not catching by the neck. Where are we going?
Right, we're going to we are going to the Asylum Down Bridge that I said we went to a couple of weeks earlier with Jay. We're going to see if we got results, and if not, we are going to keep going back and keep going back and keep going back until we get results. So Jay is behind me on my screen. Jay, good morning. What's up?
There's a Norwegian tale known as the Sleeping Goat Club. Basically, it's a childhood tale that is bound to put on itself peacefully to sleep. If you're not familiar with the story, basically it's about goats trying to cross a bridge, a troll living underneath the bridge that snatches the goat
and eats them up. This time around, onto one brave goat happens to knock the troll over the bridge and ultimately kills him. This time around, the troll is the bridge, because at any time, this bridge can give way and snatch a life. We've been here before on the Kukusek Link here in Asylum Down to report about the deplorable state of this bridge, and up to now, nothing has been done about it. At any given time, when I say that if you look at the foundations of the bridge, you see that the gutter just underneath it is giving way. And if you think this is bad, if you look on the other side, you realize that you don't even find any piece of material, any piece of the gutter on this side of the bridge, because it's just sand. And if it keeps being exposed to the elements, the sand keeps eating at it, water keeps eroding away at the foundations. What's going to happen is eventually it's just going to give way and fall into the waters. And we know how water cannot be friendly in certain moments. So for instance, if there's torrential rainfall and it's going through this place, it's bound to just sweep the gutter. And if unfortunately there's somebody on the bridge, because there are a lot of houses and residences around this area, and people use this bridge all the time, and they've been pleading with the authorities to come to their aid for as long as possible. This morning when we arrived, we even tried to get a few of them to speak about the state of the bridge, but you could sense there's this simmering anger. They are boiling with rage because they don't understand why, if the bridge is in this condition, nobody has come to fix it up to now. And I'd like to draw your attention now to not only is the bridge in such a deplorable state, I'd just like to point this note of caution to the residents around now because of the rubbish which is currently in the gutter. This situation also doesn't help with matters at hand currently, because the sanitation issues are also at hand. This is how bad the situation is. I apologize with you right now. If you haven't had breakfast yet, sorry about it. If you're having breakfast, sorry about that. But this is where you realize that there's a lot of rubbish in the gutter. So when the waters are flowing, this is what impedes it. And sometimes it leads to flooding situations where the waters cannot flow through this rubbish, and it keeps rising and rising. And the next thing you know, it enters people's houses and creates flooding situations for them that they didn't want. They weren't even looking forward to. Nobody looks forward to that, but it's not something they expected. Now, at this point, I would like to go back to the bridge so the authorities can see this is what we've been speaking about from time immemorial. If you realize that the iron rods are sticking out of the bridge, and if care is not taken, you should be wounded by these iron rods. You realize that if you survive the wound, I'm sure the cure for tetanus will be found in your blood, because this has been exposed for a very, very, very long time. I don't know how people are comfortable using the bridge, and if you look on the bridge, you realize that it's their main thoroughfare. They have nothing, they have nowhere else to pass, and this is where they have to use all the time. And so to wrap up this whole conversation, I'll just walk onto the bridge and show you some properties which are along the gutter that are also been exposed to elements at any given time may sink into the waterbed. So if you just follow my cameraman onto the bridge. So for residents here at Asylum Down, this is what they have to face every time they come here. So you realize that for some time now, the elements have been eating away at these residences. And if you look towards the far end, you realize that some properties have even sunk into the gutter. And speaking to some people, even though they didn't want to come on camera, you realize that some people have lost their properties and sometimes their livelihoods as well. And one main person who was here, who spoke to us when we first came here, Mrs. Elizabeth Ofosu, while speaking to us on the bridge, her phone was stolen. And speaking to somebody else in the area, I understand this area has a lot of such elements in there. There are some bad elements that will keep robbing the people. So if the police who are listening and can come to their aid and arrest all these nuisance to the society, that will help the people as well. So we are here to revisit the Asalam Down Bridge and bring to light again the plight of the residents who stay here. It's almost Christmas, and we pray that their Christmas present will be that the authorities come here finally and fix this bridge once and for all. It's not safe, and at any given, it's a disaster waiting to happen, and we don't want anything to happen. Maybe something happens before we come and do something about it. So once again, we're here on GTV appealing to the authorities, come and do this as quickly as possible. Thank you so much. Back to you, Val, in the studio.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you for that report. And so that was our guy Jay on the ground from the Asalam Down Bridge, and that's what it looks like. We went there a couple of weeks, nothing has been done. We've gone there again, and we can assure you we'll keep going back there until something gets done. And the hashtag to follow is GTV Breakfast. Handing over to Cuff, the Sheikh, and the Reverend again.
Thank you very mumuch, the presenter. Yeah, so that was Keep an Eye from Asalam Down. Yeah, really sad situation, and we just pray that, or we will not just pray, we'll pray and then put pressure. So prayer and pressure and act to make sure that this is done, so that we forestall any disaster. We don't want any issue to happen for people to come there and start offering condolences and paying for funerals. None of that. We'll pray, we'll pressure, and then we'll act. We're going to end with a story. So years ago, I lived in Ishaeso in Kumasi. Really enjoyed a really nice neighborhood when I was working there as a salesman with a shipping company. And today, I'm reading in today's Ghanaian Times that the MP for Ishaeso has been arrested with other people for motor traffic offenses at airport. So Dr. Stephen Amua, a lawmaker, and 6 others have been arrested by the police for road traffic offences. The member of parliament for Ishaesu constituency in the Ashanti region and others were said to have failed to comply with road traffic regulations, posing danger to other road users. So the Director General of Police Public Affairs, Assistant Commissioner of Police, Kwesi Ofori, disclosed this to the Ghanaian Times. Yesterday, he said they committed to ensure that lives and properties were saved. So there was an operation by the police between 4 and 6 p.m. 2 days ago on Tuesday, around the airport bypass, and various drivers were arrested for traffic offences. They will be put before the motor traffic courts. In this case, I had an experience where I was driving on to Kumasi, and everything was just off. I was younger, so confession time. My driver's license, roadworthy, everything expired, and the people stopped me. I was speeding to stop me, and I knew everything was dead, so I said, process me. And the policeman said, look, you people, you talk too much. Settle your father. So I was able to settle my father back then, 25 years ago. In this era, there's no settlement of fathers, because the man's picture is there, and they're going to be processed before court. What does it say about the direction that the Ghana police are going these days?
Yeah, I think we say kudos to the IGP because I have been at the meetings that he has organized in order to engage with all stakeholders, in order also to give a signal of the actions that will follow, and also to seek cooperation. So he met heads of religious bodies, he met CSOs, he met the media, and so on and so forth, just to talk and say, look, we need to change our society. Look, order and discipline is a requirement for meaningful development. Chaos, indiscipline can destroy the accomplishments of thousands of years. And that is why for any meaningful development to take place, you need a certain order. And so there's a battle now between makers of law and enforcers of law. So let's now say, within the confines of law, the MP did he fall within the limits of the immunity that the Constitution governs?
On his way off from Parliament.
On his way to off from Parliament and so on. How do we define that? Because Honorable Soso's case is one of the things that we consider. And I like this for us to also determine arrestability and non-arrestability. Who is arrestable and who is not arrestable? And what are the attributes that confess on any one of us the privilege of non-arrestability? Also putting in front of us the issue of equality before the law and so on and so forth. So probably those who are privileged must be those who set the best of example. In fact, when you are privileged, the demand on you is bigger to set because you occupy leadership position. So I want to pass an image, but to say that within the law, is the MP going to execute a parliamentary function? And what does the law say? But if it was done out of impunity, then the law must be allowed to take its own course. Nobody should be considered as arrestable, so that impunity will be addressed in our society. So this one send a signal to everybody, and the police must be supported, must be allowed to do their work.
Okay, Dr. Tete, are the days of calling a big man, they arrest you on the highway, and then you say, hold on, then you call somebody, a big policeman, and say, listen, talk to your boys. You think those days are fast disappearing?
I think I don't know why I'm making reference to my wife Barbara today. But she came from
enough, so hey, it's allowed.
And we're driving in town. And as usual, we all sometimes become victims of this. You want to go quicker. And then she tapped and said, Lawrence, are you sure we can do this in the UK? No. Let's stay on track. I think we should all put a check on ourselves. My biggest concern is that this should not be selective. We should not use this laudable idea by IGP Dampare as a witch hunt to undermine the hard-won credibility of certain people. Because most often than not, in the midst of all this, it becomes an animal farm. Some are more equal than others. If this is what it is, then it must be across board, not where we become so selective in justice. It is the laudable thing, the recklessness, and all of us, in a way, become victims because this one is doing it, so I'm also doing it. We're all doing it. Let us collectively realize that this is for all of us. So it should not be selective. It should also not be seen as a political witch hunt. Because my biggest challenge in Ghana now is that anything we do, we capitalize. You see how our friends, the colleagues from the press, has picked on the MP. Sometimes it's also not fair. Because what we do is that we're undermining his credibility. We're using him as the name of shame person. Whereas there are so many stories we could have gained on this thing, made the impact without making the victim out of somebody.
It's because he's a man of prominence. That's why he makes the news.
Yeah,
and it's not usual in Ghana for MPs to be arrested for traffic offences. So he's become, by virtue of his special circumstances, he's become.
So we should make sure it's not selective.
Yes,
across board.
And the time should come when these things should be normalized. It should be normal to arrest somebody for traffic offence.
Yes,
without making it look.
Then
like the MP has been
let me also send a word of caution to the same police too. That's in as much as about my friend father have a good relationship with Ayub Dampare is doing this, he should also put a caution on his men, because sometimes they also contribute to it. And in order for us to get it well settled and create a balance, then everybody must be in check.
Indeed.
Because sometimes some people also, there are a lot of cars today and a lot of police people today who also not on assignment. I saw something in okay.
You let me pass.
I want to hear. Okay. Okay, let me paraphrase it.
Paraphrase it for me.
Somebody was traveling, was going to the airport. An ambulance was also going to the airport. And the person decided to run after the ambulance because the ambulance is going through.
Was weaving, yes.
And then finally realized that the ambulance was going closer to the airport. Wow, what a miracle. I'm also going towards the airport. The person gets to the airport, the ambulance stops. A gentleman A known gentleman got out of the airport with a briefcase. He's traveling. He's late. And so an ambulance has picked him.
Oh, I see. Wow.
So some of these things we should not take. And truly speaking, when people get into government, everybody take the law in their hands. You know, we are talking about the recklessness. But how many people are using outriders today who don't deserve it?
You mean the guy used an ambulance like a convoy thing?
Yes, he got through. So how many people are using outriders, police dispatch riders, motorcade, who don't deserve it? Because people believe that once you have the motorcade and the police in front of you, you're official. But a lot of people today, too, by the grace of God, it's just because they are linked to somebody or linked to government, then they get away with it. And that is also indiscipline. So it must be across board. It should not be selective.
My last question. Who was the guy who came on that?
I'll talk to you when we leave that.
Wow.
So some of this is to get to know here. This is very exciting.
All right, sir. Thank you so much, Dr. Lawrence, the founder, president of the World Miracle Outreach, and Sheikh Aremiyao Ishaibu, spokesperson of the National Chief Imam. Gentlemen, I wish you a beautiful day. Thank you. Let's read your messages. Plenty of them. Good morning, Honorable Kaf. Yeah, I like the title, Honorable. Yeah, Honorable Kaf. And our most honorable Sheikh and honorable Doctor. We are all honorables. Discussions today, brilliant and excellent. One thing I don't understand is, why should a student do well in some subjects and only trail in a few, but will be adjudged a failed person? Why should we not acknowledge the very academic strength of any supposed failed student and furnish them into perfection, especially in practical matters? This is Nahanta Frankobab of New Edubiasi. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, for those of you who haven't done so well, it's not the end of the world. I'll repeat this message, okay? We've all failed exams before. Yes. We did not die. Don't do anything reckless, okay? You start again, and you go again. You become tougher and stronger. So please, don't do anything reckless because you failed maths, okay? Maths is not worth any stress you want to put on yourself and any grief you want to give your parents, all right? Another message here. Good morning. Let's see. So you want me to say something about NAPCO payments. So NAPCO, apparently, they haven't paid their people since September. We don't even have money to buy water to drink when we go to work. So NAPCO, if that's the situation, please, let's pay our people, okay? People deserve to be paid for what work they have done. This is Achi Kwesi watching us from Doma Ankasi. Asaman Down Bridge is really bad. Look at the suspension. Look at the river itself, polluted, full of rubbish. I want to ask the people around the area, aren't they Christians and Muslims? And how would they allow their country to degenerate like that? So you are calling on the people to do something about where they are living. We'll keep the messages coming in on 055-556-1034. My name is Kaf. Those are the headlines. Still to come, a conversation with Black Rasta broadcaster, musician, and then there's a chat about the 3rd annual Inspiration Weekend tournament, which you do not want to miss. It's 8:16. You're watching GTV Breakfast. We have 16 days to Bronya. And you want to thank somebody? Go ahead.
Yes, Ashim Moti, Ambassador Ashim Moti.
Yes.
He woke me up this morning.
Oh, he woke you up?
But for him, I would have
missed. You would have been missed.
Also, Ashim Moti, thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr.
Ashim. He's the president of the
Millennium Excellence Foundation. Yes, thank you very much for being Dr. Tetes Alam.
He did help me. So today I came before Sheikh.
Yes, indeed. Congratulations. Congratulations.
That's good.
Congratulations.
Ashim, thank you.
Thanks, Ashim, Ambassador Ashim Morton. Thank you for being Dr. Tetes Alam. This is GTV Breakfast. We come back with conversations with Black Rasta coming pretty soon. Don't go anywhere.
Check it out. All the people in the place.
Live from GBC Studio 1, this is the Breakfast Show.
He said,
Good morning, my neighbor.
Good morning. It's a good morning, and we serve you breakfast.
Not just any breakfast.
Sizzling helping.
And there's much more on offer on GTV Breakfast.
So what's your pleasure than Votrasia at that time of the morning?
You want it served buffet style, complimentary breakfast?
On-site restaurant.
Or room service?
We've got you covered.
From Monday to Friday at 6 a.m.
With a trusted team.
So never skip breakfast.
On GTV Breakfast.
Not just any breakfast.
Sizzling helping.
Yeah, all the time. Okay, let's take a peek. I brought my spine.
There are certain things that we do to help the children with their brushing.
And there's much more on offer on GTV Breakfast.
You want it served buffet style?
On-site restaurant.
Complimentary breakfast?
Off of your plate chicken vegetables.
So in my lifetime, I haven't seen Ghana Black Stars win an African Cup.
Can I show what is written at the back?
Yes, definitely.
Where the
Just
camera?
stand and turn.
So what's your pleasure than Votras, yeah? At that time of the morning. So never skip breakfast.
On GTV Breakfast.
From Monday to Friday at 6 a.m.
We've got you covered with a trusted team.
Live from GBC Studio 1, this is the Breakfast Show.
Good morning. It's a good morning and we serve you breakfast.
Not just any breakfast.
Sizzling helping.
And there's much more on offer on GTV Breakfast.
So what's your pleasure than Votras, yeah? At that time of the morning.
You want it served buffet style? Complimentary breakfast?
On-site restaurant.
Or room service?
We've got you covered.
From Monday to Friday at 6 a.m.
With a trusted team.
So never skip breakfast.
On GTV Breakfast. Good morning, my neighbors.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It's a good morning and we serve you breakfast.
Not just any breakfast.
Sizzling helping.
Yeah, all the time. Okay, let's take a peek. I brought my spine.
There are certain things that we do to help the children with their brushing.
And there's much more on offer on GTV Breakfast.
You want it served buffet style?
On-site restaurant.
Complimentary breakfast?
Off of your plate chicken vegetables.
So in my lifetime, I haven't seen Ghana Black Stars win an African Cup.
Can I show what is written at the back?
Yes, definitely.
Where's the
Just
camera?
stand and turn.
So what's your pleasure than Votras, yeah? At that time of the morning. So never skip breakfast.
On GTV Breakfast.
From Monday to Friday at 6 a.m.
We've got you covered with a trusted team.
This water is coming from the gutter. It will make me sick. Your Honor, that is it. Due to the galamsey activities of the accused and his cohorts, they have polluted all our water bodies. See, this water is coming from our taps. They have destroyed all our forests, and above all, the activities are killing people.
Mr. Eja, you have been found guilty of indulging in galamsey. And since you don't want to mention the names of your bosses, you have been sentenced to 25 years in prison. This is my judgment.
Please, I will talk. Mr. Francis is bad. Mr. Mountain is bad. Mr. Usu. Please, Your Honor, please.
Yenjai, galamsey. Yenjai.
Live from GBC Studio 1, this is the Breakfast Show.
Good morning. It's a good morning, and we serve you breakfast.
Not just any breakfast.
Sizzling helping.
And there's much more on offer on GTV Breakfast.
So what's your pleasure? Danvotrasie at that time of the morning.
You want it served buffet style, complimentary breakfast,
on-site restaurant,
or room service?
We've got you covered.
From Monday to Friday at 6 a.m.
with a trusted team.
So never skip breakfast.
On GTV Breakfast. Morning, my neighbor.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. It's a good morning, and we serve you breakfast.
Not just any breakfast.
Sizzling helping.
Yeah, all the time. Okay, let's take a peek.
I brought my spine.
There are certain things that we do to help the children with their brushing.
And there's much more on offer on GTV Breakfast.
You want it served buffet style,
on-site restaurant,
complimentary breakfast.
Off of your plate chicken vegetables. So in my lifetime, I haven't seen Ghana Black Stars win an African Cup.
Can I show what is written at the back?
Yes, definitely.
Where's the camera?
Stand and turn.
So what's your pleasure? Danvotrasie at that time of the morning. So never skip breakfast.
On GTV Breakfast.
From Monday to Friday at 6 a.m.
We've got you covered with a trusted team.
Under Pressure music from the legendary Raskimono, who is a mentor to my guest, who describes himself as, in his own words, a Kuchoko legend, a Pan-Africanist, a musician, a poet, a radio show host, a movie maker, an actor, a philanthropist, a prophet, and a social activist. You know him as broadcaster and musician, Black Rasta. Greetings, bro.
Blessed Raskaf.
How be?
I'm good, thank you.
When you were listening to the music of Raskimono, Under Pressure, what was going through your mind?
If I brought tears into my eyes, because, I mean, this is a man who has mentored me from when I knew nothing about reggae music. And, I mean, it just brought memories. How I was so close to this man, how I ran away from school just to come and meet him. You know, in those days when it wasn't that easy to travel as a young man from Kumasi all the way down to Accra, from Tamale all the way down to Accra, just to meet Raskimono. And I remember when, I mean, we last spoke, and then, I mean, that was it. We couldn't speak again. So, I mean, a man like this, you know, is somebody who brings, you know, great memories to me, you know, and I'm very, very happy for his mentorship. I mean, Kimono is responsible for a lot of the things that I've become today. Trust me.
What is the biggest impact he has had on your life?
Pan-Africanism, you know, energy on stage. Kimono would always tell you, hey, listen, people are paying to come watch you. Don't come there and sing ballads to them. When you come on stage, crack the stage. If you can break the stage, break it. Let it be in the news that you gave them all your energy. But make sure that after entertaining them, they have something to take home as a package, you know? And that package must be something that will be with them forever. If you come on stage and sing and go away and you don't change a soul positively, you are a waste.
Kimono kept saying this every time. And when you see me on stage, in fact, you see a replica of Ras Kimono. That energy, that power. No matter how old I am, I will come on stage even at 90 and still be able to make people be appreciative of the fact that, hey, he's old, but he's giving us something powerful.
I saw that vibe at the Marcus Garvey celebration earlier this year in August at Xylophon's concert, and you came on, and I couldn't believe the energy that I was experiencing.
That's very true. I remember you said, oh, wow, good energy and all that, you know. Yeah, I got all this from Kimono. You see, vegetarian. I mean, first time I was hearing vegetarian was from him. What do vegetarians eat? What don't they eat? You know? And Kimono would always rise to the occasion. It didn't matter how many big artists came on stage, what they did. Kimono had a way of wowing his audience. And for me, in fact, since he left us, I've not been to Nigeria. Because anytime I try to enter that country, the memories are all Kimono, Kimono, Kimono. Who are you going to? You know, so I'm yet to graduate from the denial stage into, you know, reality.
You can't believe he's passed?
No, no, not at all. I mean, he went too early. There are a lot of wicked people who should have died. Why should this man?
Like who? Which is the one wicked person who should have gone?
Terrible, terrible, terrible African leaders. What is Paul Biya doing there? Should have died long ago. What is, what's the other guy? Look, all over Africa, when you look at them, you realize that, no, these are very terrible people. And there are some people who have no business being in the presidency, like President Akufo-Addo. Why should he be in the presidency? And I hear him saying, oh, at the end tenure of office, I will go. You have no choice. At the end of your tenure of office, you'll be entering into the Paul Biya stage. You are not doing us a favor by telling us that, oh, I will go. Do you have a choice? You don't have a choice. When Forbes and all those people come in, I don't know how much they are paying to these guys, Bloomberg and all these people, and they come in and write nonsense, make a mockery of us as a people. Let's face reality. What is this guy doing in there? When you speak, somebody sitting somewhere saying, oh, he's wearing political colors and blah, blah, blah. What Kimono taught me, hey, speak the mind of God. It doesn't matter who is listening. It doesn't matter who is not listening, who supports and who doesn't support you. The good thing is that the voice of the people is the voice of God.
How do you know you're speaking the mind of God and not, not your own mind?
When you speak and you realize that you are re-echoing the voice of the masses, then you know that you are speaking the voice of God. Because the voice of God is the voice of the people and vice versa. See? That's what is happening. Unfortunately, we have a lot of bootlickers who are scared to come out and say what it is. But several years down the line, your children are going to hold you responsible. That's why we see some children beating their fathers. Some of them whipping them night and day. Some of them don't even want to see them again because they have been a big failure. You see, some people don't go beyond what they see. Look beyond what you see and you would know who is who. That's what I think. And I'm so disappointed in a lot of African presidents and African leaders. And if I have the opportunity, I'll stand in front of them and tell them. I heard Sheikh say that, oh, Mugabe and, you know, some of the bad examples. I say, oh, really? Yeah? I heard Sheikh say Mugabe and some of the bad experience. Everybody has a bad day. But Mugabe was one of the best we had. Saying, give me Mugabe, I'll choose him 1 million times over Nanado. I'll choose him 1 million times over Buhari. 1 million times over Paul Biya. 1 million times over foreigners, Nasimbe. And all those people.
What did Mugabe mean to you? Because I know you met him physically and you had a chat with him.
Yes.
What does Mugabe mean to you?
Hey, Mugabe means Pan-Africanism. My God. Look, there are only 2 countries I've traveled to in this world, and Ghana was portrayed as that powerful figure. Guyana and Zimbabwe. In Guyana, they have the Ghana Day, which they celebrate. Indians come out and wear Ghanaian clothing.
Ghana Day.
Ghana. In Guyana, every Guyanese person thinks that he's Ghanaian. When I arrived at the airport, it was so beautiful. Where are you from? Ghana, Akwaba. All they know is tree. You know?
And our vice president right now.
Yes. And I'm glad that the vice president has gone there. I hope he's not going there to give them comic relief. because wherever this guy goes, it's either lies or comedy.
Let's come back to the countries, Guyana and Gaza. We'll talk about other issues pretty soon.
Anyway,
yes.
So, I mean, Guyana is such a beautiful country. Look, when I went to Guyana, there were so many beautiful ladies who wanted to cook for free and wanted to give me a massage for free. They wanted to do so many different things that you ordinarily would not get for free.
You accept.
In Guyana, all because I'm Ghanaian.
They cherish Ghana.
They cherish Ghana. They eat it. Hey, they have this artist. Oh, it's unfortunate I forgot it. I don't wanna dance.
Eddie Grant.
Eddie Grant. Ah, you are great. Eddie Grant said, I am Ghanaian. I've spoken with Kojo Entry several times to get a Ghanaian citizenship. Can you do it for me? That's how people cherish Ghana more than Ghanaians themselves.
And then Zimbabwe too.
In Zimbabwe, when I entered Zimbabwe Lake, there was a long queue for British people, American people. They had to pay about $200 to enter Zimbabwe. And I, as a Ghanaian, and every other Ghanaian was in a queue which was not VIP, but VVIP. And whenever you passed that lane, you were welcomed with the words Aquara. And you'll be asked, what can we do to make your stay better?
Is it because of Mr. Mugabe's first wife, which was a Ghanaian, Sally Mugabe?
They call her the mother of the nation. So anything Ghanaian in that country flies. You see, when Mugabe was there were Ghanaians who were ministers of state in his government. When I went, he made me tourism ambassador of Zimbabwe. And Ghanaians say, oh, this controversial guy, oh, how can you take a Ghanaian and make him something in your jurisdiction? And blah, blah, blah. Mugabe was asleep. He forgot about everybody. You see?
So it's like he didn't recognize the borders that we have.
Not all. Those were all artificial borders. And Mugabe was a strict Pan-African. Yes, he had his own faults and all that. For me, I think that he overstayed. But you cannot take it away from Mugabe that this lion would wake up one day and say, hey, these wicked Westerners are trying to break us down. All Zimbabwean dollars are no more in use. If you have that, trash that. And let's start spending the oppressors' dollars. If it happens in Ghana, there will be a bonfire. Then you wake up, this thing, your money that is almost useless is no more in use. That was what Mugabe did, and everybody followed him.
Do people still love him?
Hey, Lord God have mercy. Look, Mugabe and Zimbabwe are like Siamese twins. Any other person who would come into the presidency in Zimbabwe and not trumpet the ideals of Mugabe would be a non-entity.
You've given us great examples of Guyana and Zimbabwe showing love for Ghana.
Yeah.
Do Ghanaians show love for Ghana?
No, no. Patriotism has long died and become a ghost, never to resurrect. How many people know what it is to say patriotism? How many people even understand the blood and toil of the ancestors? You sing the national anthem, you don't even understand the words because it's in somebody's language. They've translated some of that, but how many of us truly understand what it is? Look at how they are toying with Kwame Nkrumah's legacies. This afternoon is Nkrumah Day, tomorrow is Founders Day, the next day, who was the founder at all? When we know the history bordering you guys, your ancestors were terrorists, bombing us night and day, chased Nkrumah everywhere he went, trying to destroy the legacy of this country. Nkrumah mesmerized them. Now they are putting it in their textbooks that the guy was a dictator, he was this, but the world over, everybody knows that Nkrumah was that qualitative gem that if taken out of Africa, Africa becomes limbless. That's how it is. They cannot come to terms with the power that Nkrumah had. Out of nothing, he created something. They are still in shock that he defeated their ancestors. But let's put all that aside and let's have the national agenda. They don't have patriotism. Where's the patriotism? When you tell us that we have gold, we have diamond, we have blah, blah, boom, 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 boom. And all this cannot help us except an e-levy. What happened to the gold? When the white man came here and saw the gold, he instantly. What did he say? This is called the Gold Coast. Look at our history, beautiful history. Then you come back and you want to saddle us with a levy, and you're politicking with that levy, and you are going to and fro, borrowing all over the place, getting stooges to support your wicked policies.
So for you, that e-levy is a non-starter?
It is terribly out. E-levy is a very cheap way of enslaving Ghanaians. We already have taxes. Find other creative ways of taxing the people. All of a sudden, road tolls are gone, and you are bringing a levy because everybody uses a mobile phone right now. You see, now the people who are providing us services are charging us. Then you can provide us with no service at all. You want to charge us on top. For me, it is not a very good thing, and these people are only interested in raising money for the president to fly more, for the president to jump on the next private jet, take his bath there, wear his oversized suit, and run all over the place, speaking Shakespearean English and making no sense to us as a people.
Why do you spit fire every day on your show against, you call them politicians?
Yes, yes, yes.
Don't you get tired?
No, I don't. Get tired. My sons will beat me up in the next 40, 50 years. They will call me a weakling. They will call me a father who was a sellout. I have a voice. I've seen people in the hospital who want to even say, bring me water, and they can't. If I have a voice, what is that voice for? It is to be able to glorify humanity. It doesn't matter who is standing in front of me, as long as this person is not doing something right. We would have to make them know that this is not right. That is why I come out. Oh, when the president came, we all were happy that at last we're going to have something positive from what he said. At the end of the day, the whole country is crumbling like a house of cards. And it's so sad.
Have you always been like this? I mean, have you always been somebody who speaks directly to things that you think are not right? And
yes.
You say speak truth to power. That's something you always say on your show.
Yeah, truth to power. I've always been like
When was
this.
the earliest that you can remember you standing up to something that you felt was not right?
Well, I remember in school, yes, in school there was a teacher who, came up, and that was what is now called JHS. In my days, it was JSS. This was 1986, second year, JSS. A teacher came in, and then we were doing practicals, and he was going to, talk to us. When he came in, the first person he left, second person he left, third person he left, and he went to his niece and started teaching, this is how you do this, this is how you do this, this is how you do that. And then I stood up to him and said, sir, you jumped all of us and you went to your niece. You all deserve to pass this exam. He was shocked. Because at that age, how old was I? I was 12. See? Or so. Yes, 12. I was born in 74.
Yeah.
And this was what I told him, and he was, and I remember in the university to UST, there was one man, he was called Otunfu, not Otunfu, Otunfu, he was fancy. He used to worry me, why are you always wearing a hat? I said, say, the thing says this is the university. Is it wrong for me to wear a hat? I want to see what you are hiding under the hat.
What were you hiding under the hat?
I had my dreadlocks on. And he wanted me to take off my hat, and while I was wearing cowries, and unnecessarily.
Was it against the school rules regulations to wear dreadlocks?
It wasn't. Mm-hmm. It wasn't. So one day he pushed me so much, and I told him, sir, my hair is going through a period of incubation. And if you break that period of incubation, you're going to kill the little bird that is supposed to come out of it. Let the hair grow naturally. When it's ready to be seen, it will be seen. And he was shocked.
And that was the end of the story?
That was the end of the story.
As we're talking about hair, what are your thoughts on those the boys who went to my old school, Achimota, my guy, the dreadlocked issue where the students passed for Achimota, but were not being allowed to go to the school because of hair issues?
In fact, for
what disappointed you? What surprised you about that conversation?
Well, one of the few occasions we saw Ghanaians come out against it. We had a few people who said, okay, it's the policy of the school and blah, blah, blah. But it dragged us back to 2 BC. In fact, it was so shameful. You see, if I took this issue so seriously, You go to church every Sunday, Jesus Christ, but he comes today with his dreadlocks. What are you going to say? You're going to run away? He was a Nazarite. And you read your Bible every time. You understand? And you don't want to see people who have locks naturally. The headmistress who was saying all this herself had Peruvian wig on her head.
You confirm that?
Oh, yes. Peruvian wig. And we all were like, oh, what are you saying? Just like teachers now, they are saying that they don't want homegrown laptops. They want something from Canada, from Japan, from Korea. No, they are teachers. Where is the patriotism? Where is the Pan-Africanism? You see, it's the same thing Achimota did. Achimota degraded itself from the high levels of Kwame Nkrumah, Agri, and all those people, all the way down to the Atai stage. That was how lowly they had descended Achimota. That's why people like Reggie Rockstone dissociated themselves totally from anything Achimota.
In the end, they accepted the boys.
They accepted the boys.
Are they still having their locks?
Oh,
as far as you know.
Certainly, they are rastas. Their hair is part of them. Do you have Indians and Chinese there with their long hair? Then your natural hair, no, is a problem to you.
Would you describe yourself as a Rasta?
I am a Rasta.
And talk to us about the kind of experience you have with your hair. I mean, how do people deal with you in Ghana because of your locks?
Well, in fact, I have been lucky. But, yeah, at the beginning it was quite tough. I remember my father chased me out of the house and he said, I sent you to school to go and make the grades, not to come and descend into dirtiness. That's what he used to say, you know, and all that. You know, I remember land economy, studying land economy at UST, and then we had a land economist meeting with the gurus of land economy. And one of the guys picked up the microphone and said, yeah, it's a disgrace to have such an honorable profession with people with this kind of hair and blah, blah, boom, 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 boom. He was saying all that. And, well, most of the time I would just keep quiet and let that be, you know, fuel for me to burn more and even rise higher. But I can also tell you that I have had a lot of love, especially from females.
Women like the locks, man?
Yes, so much.
Why? Why do you think that is so?
Love.
Why do you think that is so?
I mean, coming up, I've always been a shy person. You know, shy person. I hardly look at people in the eyes, you know.
You're still shy?
Yes, I am.
Yes, you haven't looked at me in the eye for a long time.
Very, very shy. Very, very, very shy. Because where I come from, when we talk to people, we don't look at them like that.
Where do you come from?
I come from the north. That's how it is. So I hardly look at people in the eye. And it's not maybe looking down on yourself, you know, no confidence in the self. No, that is how it is.
Okay.
So for me, what was I talking about?
You were talking about the discrimination, and you said you had love from women.
Oh, good. Yes, thank you. All right. So I was shy from the beginning, but I saw a few sisters around that I liked. The locks drew them closer. They would come and say, oh, how did you do this? How did you do that? Did you put X in there? Did you do that? Can I touch it? And from touching it, it gets deeper and deeper. You know, more love. Women have shown me love in my life more than men. A lot of big doors that opened for Black Rasta were initiated by women.
By women.
So my life is a world of women. That is why everywhere I go, I trumpet women.
Women thing.
It is true.
How much do you miss the wife who passed?
Yeah, 2004. 2012, she passed on. We were together for 10 solid days. You are talking about Sakina.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a terrible thing. I mean, we're having a good time. Young graduate from UST, Kumasi. I went to Takrady, making all the noise there. And there was a pretty girl who came to my concert. We started talking, and then, boom, we got married. And then we came to Accra to have a good life. Then one day she said, oh, she wasn't that good. We went to the hospital. They checked her up and said, oh, it's ulcer. So ulcer doesn't kill. Just make sure you don't eat this, you don't eat that, and blah, blah, blah. Not knowing it wasn't ulcer, it was an ulcer. Later suspected that it probably was appendicitis. You know?
Yeah.
And then the father said, oh, bring her home so that we do some local treatment. The moment she arrived there, went to the hospital once, the next 2 days, that was it.
She passed.
She just passed on. And I was shocked. I was on radio. How? Ulcer. What happened?
How did that affect you?
Well, look, for about a year, I couldn't have an erection. 1 whole year, it wouldn't rise. No matter what erotism I saw, there was no realism. Everything was gone. My world was like boom to the ground. At the point I was even asking, would this thing rise again? Is it going to be able to fire? Would it work? I was asking myself night and day. You know, and I was seeing shadows lurking around. Had terrible dreams and, you know, things like that. I told myself, I thought you were a man. What is happening? But there are some things that happen to you. No matter how manly you are, you become totally effeminate. Totally.
And Sakina's death was one of those things.
It was one of those. My brethren, I was blown away, and well, I was in there still thinking. It made me almost go into some, you know, terrible things, but because I was still questioning. And people come to, let's investigate this spiritually. Let's go to Wulome. Let's go to this person. Let's go to that person, you know. But, well, at the end of the day, there were friends who came around, and I'm so happy that there were some that I couldn't sleep in my room. I was in the hall with friends, like 4 or 5. Anytime I went into that room, it was crazy. I don't wish that for anybody, not even my worst enemy.
You dreamed about her?
Yes. Because we started life together. I remember when she came into my house, my room, my single room that was given to us by the radio station, Good News. I didn't even have a bed. University boy, yeah. You know, she came and said, no TV, nothing. You can go to these people and then buy TV on credit. You can also get a carpet on credit and be paying high purchase, small.
She gave you advice?
That was how I got my carpet.
From Sakina's advice?
Yes. And I still have a piece of that carpet from them days in front of my house right now. Small piece that I stepped on before I get into that house.
Did you write a song about her?
Yes.
Can you sing a little bit of it?
Yes. I never knew that I love you so, till you pack up and gallant so. I never knew that I love you so, Sakina, till you pack up and gallant so. Come back to me, oh sweet Sakina, I am empty without your love. Come back to me, oh sweet Sakina, I am empty without your love. Every time I sing for you, when I cry for you. When I cry just of you. I've lost the lyrics. Can you believe that?
No, it's one last question on Sakina.
The lyrics are gone. Yeah, but I sing this every day on stage.
Yes.
Right now, it's all gone.
Yeah. Well,
I can't remember the lyrics.
May she rest in peace.
Yeah, blessed.
Are you able to rise now?
Oh, yeah. Powerfully, strongly.
We thank God for that.
Powerfully.
Awesome.
Strongly.
Awesome.
Yes.
Powerfully, strongly.
Powerfully. To God be the glory.
Amen. A lot of people know that you are into movies.
Yeah.
You just released a documentary on possibly the greatest goalkeeper Ghana ever produced. Growing up, we had so many stories about him. Robert Mensah. And I saw the videos quite well on YouTube. And I urge you to go look for it. Just type in Black Rasta Robert Mensah. And there's a great documentary there. Why did you do a story on Robert Mensah?
Yes, thanks so much for that one. I like to honor people, honestly. In our space, we hardly honor our great heroes. That's why Nkrumah's legacies are still suffering. That's why Okonfo Anoche is still suffering. That's why Asantua's legacies are still suffering. So, you know, he that does not learn to serve can never lead. It is true. So what I do is, if you listen to my music, you realize I've honored a lot of people. Yeah. Sarawiwa, Barack Obama, Nkrumah, you know, Gaddafi, and the list goes. I think I am one artist who has sung more about heroes than any other person on earth.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I do. I'm a poet. I talk.
I never think of Black Rasta and football in the same sentence. So why Robert Mensah?
Good. So with Robert Mensah, we heard about him. He had juju, how he could read newspapers in the Post and all that. Yeah. So I took interest in that, and I did him once in the African history class. And thank you, Raskaf. You most of the time send me messages. Oh, look at this guy. Can you do that in the African history class and all that? Give thanks. So Amen. It was one of those occasions I read about this guy. I remember the song that we sang in those days. And I said, hey, this guy is even deeper than what we were told. Can I just do a documentary on this guy? And for 2 years, I was on the road, you know.
Where did you go for your material? Where did you visit? Who did you talk to?
Yes. First and foremost, I mentioned him on radio, and I was so fortunate that his grandson called my show and said, hey, you've said a few things about Robert Mensah, but you could have gone deeper. I would like to help you get more information. So we met, and then we went to Cape Coast and met some of the weirdest people ever.
Why do you say weirdest?
Yes. Because these were people whose society neglected totally. And they started living a kind of hermit life that nobody would even want to go around them. But they had deep secrets about Robert Mensah.
What is one thing that surprised you or shocked you about this documentary?
Yes. It was two things. One, the bar in which Robert Mensah was stabbed and killed is called Credo Bar, right there in Tema. The woman said, for about 50 years now, not one journalist had approached her to interview her and ask her what happened on the day.
That's incredible.
Not the police.
Wow.
Nobody. So I now went to approach her and I spoke to her. She was all tearing up, you know.
Wow.
And she told me what happened right from the start up to the end, what brought them there. The other thing that shocked me was the grave of Robert Mensah. It's now a gutter.
Lord have mercy.
Yes.
Where?
Robert Mensah's grave is now an open gutter with worms playing football. In that gutter. There, in Cape Coast.
No.
In fact, I was researching and all that. Okay, where's his grave? Is there any statue? Oh, there was a statue here, Sudu area there. The people were drying their things on that, and then the weight was too much, and he pulled the statue down. Hey, what kind of, was it a plastic statue? What happened to that statue? No statue. Okay, show me his grave, so I could pray for him. We went to the grave. Look, they have grazed down the whole place. It's now an estate. And the grave where Robert Mensah was supposed to be resting, because we always say rest in peace, is an open gutter. And I saw two of the gravestones, original gravestones, lying out. So if you watch that documentary, I had my foot on one of them and I said, this probably was the pillow of Robert Mensah. Today, his bones have probably gone down in this gutter. It's sad.
What does that say about how we treat people who have excelled?
We don't honor our heroes. That is why a lot of us, 20 years down the line, I might come on TV and say, I have an eye problem here, oh, please donate money and let me go and treat glaucoma. Or I have liver cancer, or I have that cancer, help me. Look, the big celebrities we saw when we were growing up and mentored us are no more mentoring us, they are tormenting us. I don't want to mention it, but look, in the days, there was something called TV theater, which was playing on this network. They were heroes. Today, 99% of them, if they are lucky to be alive, have become media beggars.
So we need to look at our heroes more.
We need to look at that. That's why I decided to go for Robert Mensah.
There was a sad story about his son who was born on the day he died.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes. Kofi Anto. Anto means he didn't meet his father. In fact, the mother was 6 months pregnant. She was in the bathroom when the news broke that your husband has been stabbed. He's dead. She went into forced labor and gave birth to this boy prematurely.
Wow.
In those days, you know, those incubators and all those things were not very present. They managed him. Right now, he has no use of his legs. The legs cannot walk, nothing, for about 50 years now.
Robert Mensah's son.
Robert Mensah's son. Nobody has ever interviewed him. We all sing Robert Mensah, Dokipa #1. I can't answer no abrochire. The damn fool after the end. Kofi Anto, you know. So I followed up to Kofi Anto. He lives in a village called Amosima on the way to Cape Coast. Some village in there. So I went there, I met with him, and he couldn't, so we had to carry him. If you watch the documentary, you see us carrying him on the back to a place where we could have that interview. And he still has Robert Mensah's cap. He said, if my father was alive, I wouldn't be what I am right now. You know, it's a very sad thing. And he's still holding on to his father's hat. He says he will never give it up. He feels he never saw his father.
So he has the hat.
He has it.
His father used to wear.
50-year-old hat. He still has it. And he is so close to him. He never met his father. For him, that cap is his father.
Yes.
So that is the story of the boy, and he's sitting sadly, Rascaf. When Robert Mensah died, there were 3 coffins. One from Asante Kotoko, one came all the way from the nation, and another one came from philanthropists. 3 coffins for one man. The promise that his children were going to be taken to school. I'm sad to say that a number of children, his children, become drunkards. It's sad, but that is the truth. In fact, and the children don't have any education beyond SHS. They are there. Nothing to write home about, and the legacy of the father just crumbled. All the people who brought the 3 coffins, did they support the children to go to school? Absolutely no.
Which of the coffins did they finally put his body in?
They put him finally in the Kumasi Asante Kotoko coffin, because that was his mother team, and I think it looked nicer. So they put him in it, and then he was buried, and everybody forgot such a hero. So the documentary is sports most controversial personality.
You just made a mistake. You said everybody forgot him, but you didn't forget him. And we're very proud of you. And this deserves an honor, definitely, because you have brought facts to a story that we heard about for so many years. So really proud of you. A couple of rapid fire questions before you wrap. We end. When was the last time somebody called you Ahmed, Abubakar Ahmed?
Woo!
Who still calls you that? Because you were born, you grew up in a Muslim home. Yeah. Who still calls you Abubakar?
Yes, it's just close family. And when probably, you know, I go into formal places, like maybe passport office or that, or at the airport.
So on your passport, what is your name in the passport? Abubakar Ahmed. Yes. All right. Do you consider yourself Rasta and Muslim, or just Rasta?
In fact, I consider myself a very spiritual person. In fact, Islam brought me up to a certain point, and I realized that I had to be more spiritual than just being in Islam. And that's the truth. I normally don't like talking religion, because some people, I thought he was Christian. Once he's not, then I'm not going to his concert anymore. We are that much of bigots. It's very, very sad. There was a guy who was supposed to come and fix some internet in our area there and blah, blah, in my house, you know, gratuity, butter. And then he said, Black Rasta crowd or shit. Black Rasta or shit, or shit. I'm quite sorry.
Yeah.
You know, and that was the end.
That was it.
The brother never came out. I've gone to places where people will say, this guy self, I mean, he'll be Christian. This guy, the last time I heard himself, he said he was not Muslim, and blah, blah, blah. And
so you consider yourself Rasta?
I'm Rasta. I'm a spiritual person.
Okay, and so your Muslim family, are they happy?
Well, I mean, religion is like politics.
Are they happy?
When you pull out of a certain political party, people don't get happy.
All right.
But religion has failed us, Regine. Religion has failed us. We blow all the tongues in the world. I know pastors who can pray and the ground will open, but they don't know how to pray for fish to come into the sea, for people to go and eat. They do not know how to cause rain to come down and water the fields.
All right.
Blow tongues, night. I know malams who can wave their hands and then the whole sea will divide into 2, like in the days of Moses. But they do not know how to pray for their children to pass their exams.
So you really want to see something positive come up?
Positive.
All right. I'm ending right now, but I want you to just ask you one random question, which you pick yourself. So please look behind you. There's a bottle there. Just open it.
Okay.
And when you take the question, you can take the question home. All right.
All right.
Yes, it's a random question. I won't ask anybody this question again.
Okay.
Yes.
Random question.
Yeah. No. Read it.
All right. If you could establish one charitable organization, what would it be?
Yeah.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Praise be the Most High. It will be the Robert Mensah Foundation.
Fantastic. To honor the memory of him.
In fact,
okay,
to honor him, to honor his family, and all other heroes that have been forgotten.
Okay, this is from my sons. They are in the African history class. They said, if you are not a journalist, musician, artist, what would you be?
Wow, if I was not a musician, a journalist, or an artist, what would I be? I would be in a cave praying night and day. I just love to cut away from this sinful world, just be in my own space and appreciate nature and feel nature's power. Sometimes I think that is wasteful to be around very vitriolic people.
All right. Black Rasta. Blessings. Thank you so much.
Rascal.
I really enjoyed this conversation.
Blessed Lord.
And that was Black Rasta. Follow him on everywhere. It's AKKRASTA. And look for the documentary on Robert Mensah. It's a wonderful piece of work, deserving of a SWAG award, the Sports Writers Association of Ghana award. We will make that noise to make it happen. Thank you very much, man. Blessed. And we'll be in the African history class today, God willing. All right, this is GTV Breakfast. My name is Kafui Day. Vow is up next with a conversation that you do not want to miss. It's all about history.
Live from GBC Studio 1, this is the Breakfast Show.
Good morning. It's a good morning, and we serve you breakfast.
Not just any breakfast.
Sizzling helping.
And there's much more on offer on GTV Breakfast.
So what's your pleasure? Danvotrasia at that time of the morning.
You want it served buffet style, complimentary breakfast?
On-site restaurant.
Or room service?
We've got you covered.
From Monday to Friday at 6 a.m.
With a trusted team.
So never skip breakfast.
On GTV Breakfast. Morning, my neighbors.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It's a good morning, and we serve you breakfast.
Not just any breakfast.
Sizzling helping.
Yeah, all the time. Okay, let's take a peek. I brought my spine.
There are certain things that we do to help the children with their brushing.
And there's much more on offer on GTV Breakfast.
You want it served buffet style?
On-site restaurant.
Complimentary breakfast?
Off of your plate chicken vegetables. So in my lifetime, I haven't seen Ghana Black Stars win an African Cup.
Can I show what is written on the back?
Yes, definitely.
Where's the camera?
Just stand and turn.
So what's your pleasure? Danvotrasia at that time of the morning. So never skip breakfast.
On GTV Breakfast.
From Monday to Friday at 6 a.m.
We've got you covered with a trusted team.
Live from GBC Studio 1, this is the Breakfast Show.
Good morning. It's a good morning, and we serve you breakfast.
Not just any breakfast.
Sizzling helping.
And there's much more on offer on GTV Breakfast.
So what's your pleasure? Danvotrasia at that time of the morning.
You want it served buffet style, complimentary breakfast,
on-site restaurant,
or room service?
We've got you covered.
From Monday to Friday at 6 a.m.
with a trusted team.
So never skip breakfast.
On GTV Breakfast. Good morning, my neighbors.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It's a good morning, and we serve you breakfast.
Not just any breakfast.
Sizzling helping.
We are going to be talking to some people who want to ignite the passion for sports in young people, but they are doing that through various means. And they're going to be using basketball as the main tool, actually. But the show is made possible by Tigo, and so we are going to take a quick break. When we come back, we are going to get talking with my guests and find out what's happening with the Inspiration Weekend Tournament. And so we'll take a quick break.
Live from GBC Studio 1, this is the Breakfast Show. Live from GBC Studio 1, this is the Breakfast Show. Live from GBC Studio 1, this is the Breakfast Show.
Good morning.
It's a good morning, and we serve you breakfast.
Not just any breakfast.
Sizzling helping.
And there's much more on offer on GTV Breakfast.
So what's your
Welcome back. The hashtag to follow is GTV Breakfast. We are streaming live on Facebook as the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, live on YouTube as the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. We're interactive on Twitter as the GBC Ghana and on Instagram as GBC Online. So we are going to be talking about the free inspiration reaching everyone, into brackets FIRE, FIRE. So it is a charitable foundation dedicated to raising funds and promoting activities that benefit those in need, especially the youth in underdeveloped communities. And to help us have this conversation and find out what FIRE is, what FIRE is bringing to Ghana, how many years it's been running, and the activities building up to the main event, I have Emil Akolache. Emil is the founder, Free Inspiration Reaching Everyone, and that's FIRE. I have Chandra Pitts. She is the founder, CEO, One Village Alliance. And then I have Donovan West. He's the president, Black Business Accelerator. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Right. So, Emil, I'm going to start with you. What inspired FIRE? What inspired FIRE?
So I'll say working at my current profession, I was able to start getting into...
What's your current profession?
Okay, I'm a chemist for ExxonMobil.
Say that again.
I'm a chemist for ExxonMobil.
A chemist?
Yes.
Okay.
So with that, I went to different schools where I showed students how to do different experiments. And from that, I started growing the passion of wanting to help students. So I went into my communities and started handing out toiletries, stuff for the homeless, and that became a start in terms of the philanthropic.
Okay, okay. So what basically does your foundation do?
So my foundation works on mentorship with the youth. So any type of advocacy, any type of career development, resume writing, just about anything where we find an avenue to provide the resources for them to grow.
Right. Chandra,
yes.
I'm going to talk about what has the foundation come up with when it comes to, let's talk about Inspiration Weekend Tournament.
Yes.
What has your foundation come up so far? What are some of the activities lined up? What is the Inspiration Weekend Tournament exactly?
So Inspiration Weekend is a lot more than a weekend, first of all. So our first group of impact travelers landed here in the motherland in Ghana, this amazing place, on December the 2nd, and we'll be here for the entire month doing really high impact work. So the pre-planning, the conversations, the business roundtables have already begun. But on the 12th of December, we're going to start with the first broad community day of Inspiration Weekend on December the 12th.
Okay.
So we have an amazing artist, Jason, who is the director of King Saladin Art Studio. So he's going to come and we're going to do an artistic renovation of a basketball court at Accra High School.
Okay.
We then partnered with some young students at the University of Professional Studies here in Ghana, and we're going to do a business leaders roundtable, which is really, we have about 15 travelers who are all business leaders and business owners. So we're going to be working with, you know, business owners throughout the diaspora, as well as business leaders here in Ghana, to inspire the next generation of young African entrepreneurs through that event at University of Professional Studies, Ghana.
So it sounds a lot. Yeah. How do you go about funding? You have to answer that for us, Donovan, because you are the Black Business Accelerator, the president. So how do we go about funding when it comes to keeping this drive alive?
Well, the first thing is to be very clear about what the vision is, right? And then we start to retrofit back to how much is it actually going to cost in terms of time, money, and of course, you know, the actual energy, because the energy is really behind that. It actually shows that it's more than just an event, but it's more a movement, right? So in terms of fundraising, you have public dollars, right? That is, you know, if there's any organization that identifies with our mission and then supporting it, then you have private dollars, which are coming from our networks, you know, whether we're talking about social media networks or informal networks. The goal is to really just let them know what we're doing, why we're doing it, and engage them as part of the, you know, as part of our collective, if you will, when it comes to bringing in dollars. And then last but not least, making sure that we're 1,000% accountable and transparent with that, so that we can establish you know, a level playing field of trust, and also make sure that it's more sustainable. So a lot of the partnerships that Chandra just now mentioned is really built on that as well, just making sure that the roots and the DNA of this also reside here in Ghana, so that we can actually make sure that it's a direct link in terms of our mission and and the people that are actually being impacted.
Right. Emil, this is the third edition. This is the third time this is happening. Okay, and for this year we are choosing basketball. Have we always chosen basketball as the preferred sports channel to use, or it's just this year?
No. So two quick corrections.
Okay.
The 12th we changed the venue to the Carlaboo Teaching Hospital.
Okay.
Courts. But being that this is the third year, basketball was just the avenue of a sport that I played. And coming here, I was able to make some friends, some old friends that I haven't seen since I last left. So that became the tool to start a tournament. And from there, we expanded. So this year, we incorporating volleyball, swimming, and water polo.
Okay, so this year there's volleyball and swimming.
And water polo.
And
water polo.
Okay.
Water polo.
So that's a new sport.
Exactly. I was going to say that. Hey, that's really new to Ghana.
It's about introducing the sport.
It's actually very new to Ghana. Gentleman that I've been working with, Sante, he has a group, and he started a Ghana water polo team, and they're very, very good. So that'll be something to look forward to.
Okay, I am particularly, okay, run me through. How do you go about water polo?
So similar to swimming, you have to have those basics to be able to swim and tread water, and it also incorporates the components of soccer, where you have two teams and one ball and nets, and you're just trying to get.
I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking at how that will look. How that will look. Also, I'm going to ask you this because basketball is not one of the sports. In recent times, we are throwing more light on it, but it's not one of the sports that you would find everybody rushing to the course to go and play basketball. It's like it's a reserve for certain people. Doing your rounds and interacting with lots of people. I know you work with Hood Basketball. They are the reason why we know a lot of things happening in the basketball era. But you think there's a future for young Ghanaian basketball players here? Do you think we can be able to start rousing where in the near future we'll have like massive basketball players from Ghana?
Yes, I definitely believe that. I think Ghana has one of the most athletic youths here, and the problem more so that I see is getting that exposure. So we want to try to create a platform for them, give them exposure. Sean over there actually partnered with them, and in June they had a 2-week clinic where the goal was to create a path for the top 20 students to come to New Jersey area to go to school. So we have things in place where we want to have those resources for them. So it's not just about the game, but it's about your growth to be able to have the opportunity to go to the States and explore.
Right. Okay. So how do people get to be part of this exercise? Is there a number to call? Is there a website to go to? Is there an office to go to? How do people generally get to be part of this exercise?
So, I'm sorry. So we all have different entities, but the good thing is that we are able to come together. Chandra has One Village Alliance, which is on social media and from Facebook, Instagram. Fire Free, which our hashtag would be _free99, because most of our service we provide is free. And Donovan with the Black Business Accelerator. So we try to encompass just working together and being able to
Right. Chandra, tell us about One Village Alliance. That's a foundation that you started.
Yes.
What's it about?
I started One Village in 2009 in the United States, and it's a organization, a nonprofit, to really grow historically marginalized children and families into their true greatness through education, entrepreneurship, and the arts. So the partnership with Emil was really extraordinary. We built it over the last year. We're both in our 3rd year. In 2018, I received the Obama Foundation Award to expand our work into the sub-Saharan African countries. Ghana was our first choice, so in 2018 we made a trip here. Since then, this will be our 3rd engagement with Girls Can Do Anything. We launched that, and that curriculum is now in 240 schools here in Ghana.
Wow.
And this is the year that we launch Raising Kings. And what better way than some amazing kings like the gentleman here with us. So we'll have, again, about 15 phenomenal men, many of who are from Ghana, which was really exciting, and that represent, just impact around the world. Donovan is Jamaican, but we all live in the United States, so when we connected, it was very important, because we just wanted to bring that synergy and energy, launch Raising Kings, use basketball not just as a sport, but a way to connect men and boys together, build those relationships, begin to mentor, talk about the importance of education, planning, the men of boys and the role of men and boys in preventing things like teen pregnancy and practicing healthy behaviors and things like that. So we're excited to continue our work with Girls Can Do Anything and launch Raising Kings Ghana right here during Inspiration Weekend.
We're excited for you. Donovan, tell us about the Black Business Accelerator, and you're president of that. What is it? What do you do? And how you're contributing to this project?
So over the past 20 years, I've supported small businesses in different capacities. As a matter of fact, I was a former president and CEO for the African American Chamber of Commerce for Jersey, Delaware, and Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So I transitioned to BBA in 2020. I created it because I wanted to make sure that we did a couple of things. What we call it is A+ strategy or methodology. First we assess the business to identify whether or not the business is healthy. And then we get into an assignment and accountability stage. And that's where we actually walk certain businesses to make sure that they're developing at a certain pace. Because you're the business owner, typically you do things when you're ready. And that can be problematic when it comes to scaling up your business. So that assessment time is important, but more importantly, the assignment of what the business needs to do to become healthy, and then of course accountability, making sure that it develops at a certain pace, is really key to making sure that businesses are going to scale within a certain time frame that we really need them to scale up. And then we move on to access, right? Access to to additional information, to capital, to the other resources that they need to be really competitive. And then last but not least, advocacy. That's advocating for small businesses so that they can actually have a seat at the table and they can play at the table, not just be there to be a representative, but also involve them in higher levels of economic inclusion. So BBA is about that level of a platform to be very integrative, but also global. You know, Chandra mentioned I'm Jamaican, and so everything that I do is all about making sure that we engage the whole African Caribbean diaspora, and I'm extremely excited to be here to be a partner with these two.
Oh wow, that sounds really, really nice. Okay, so at the end of this tournament, the Inspiration Weekend Tournament, what do you want to, the young people, the youth and the underprivileged, what do you want to achieve with them, or what do you want them to take home with? That one thing.
I would say the fact that we're here and not going anywhere. We'll be back next year. But this is something that we want to create as a lifetime legacy, and know that we're here to have an impact each time, and not just, yesterday we actually were talking about it, not just walk away, but set fundamental tools where we can create something residual for them, whether it's in a business sector, any type of mentorship, or just, you know, being available to have a conversation.
Yeah.
Can I just interject one other thing? I think the answer to your question is really in his name, you know, fire, right?
Yeah,
you know,
fire.
That free inspiration. I think inspiration is very key because motivation is external, but inspiration is internal. So lighting a fire inside of the youth that we actually engage so that we can let them know that, you know, it's not just about exposure, but it's also about access to whatever they need so that hopefully they have some hope and the vision to be able to excel beyond their dreams.
Right. And the internal piece and how youth, you know, when we encounter a lot of youth and individuals in Ghana, their dream is to travel outside of Ghana. But there's such power and opportunity and greatness right here internally within their own communities. So really what we all represent is not only extraordinary leadership, but leadership that we've found through the power of philanthropy, through really making an impact within our own communities. And there's so much greatness here. We're all so excited. I mean, the American dream is to experience the beauty that we've encountered here in Ghana and the opportunities that really don't exist in the communities that even we're from. So we're here for opportunities. We'll highlight those opportunities and introduce that spirit and the power of philanthropy to the children and individuals here.
All right, thank you. You did good for us. Emil, want to run us through the events again, the date, time, where we need to be, and the activities to the build-up for the Inspiration Weekend Tournament.
Okay, so the 12th to the 12th, 13th, Kalibu.
So 12th and 13th of December.
We're going to be Kalibu Teaching Hospital at the courts in the back. The 14th to the 16th, we're traveling to Keta, where we'll be doing our Raising Kings conference as well as our Girls Can Do Anything conference. The 18th, we'll be at the Bayview Village for the sports program.
Sure.
And the 20th to the 22nd, we'll be traveling to Ho to do a community parade. So within all those different events, we have brought in donations. So throughout the year, we collect as many donations from books, sneakers, school supplies, and we bring it to share. So
right.
We distribute tonight.
Okay. Thank you. It's been amazing chatting with you, and we're promising you our team is going to be there. Maybe not for all the events, but for most of the events, our team will be there, and we're thanking you for the good job you're doing. So we've been speaking to organizers of the Inspiration Weekend Tournament. It's happening on the 12th and 13th at the Kolibu basketball court. There are a plethora of events happening. One, is there a social media account for FIRE where we can, direct all questions to people who want more questions and information about this tournament, how they can reach there, social media? Yes.
Just _ free 99. So FRE 99.
99 _ Free 99. Okay, thank you, gentlemen and lady, for coming. We've been speaking to Emil Akolacha. He's the founder, Free Inspiration, Reaching Everyone. FIRE is a charity foundation dedicated to raising funds and promoting activities that benefit those in need and youth in underdeveloped communities and areas. And also Chandra Pitts, she's the founder, CEO, One Village Alliance. She's also part of this FIRE tournament happening and all these. And then also Donovan West, he's the president, the Black Business Accelerator, and they're all in Ghana to help and bring stuff, you know, and sort of help bring more opportunities to the young people and the underdeveloped communities. The hashtag to follow is GTV Breakfast. We'll be right back.
Live from GBC Studio 1. This is the Breakfast Show.
Good morning. It's a good morning, and we serve you breakfast.
Not just any breakfast.
Sizzling healthy.
And there's much more on offer on GTV Breakfast.
So what's your pleasure than Votrasia at that time of the morning?
You want it served buffet style, complimentary breakfast?
On-site restaurant.
Or room service?
We've got you covered.
From Monday to Friday at 6 a.m.
With a trusted team.
So never skip breakfast.
On GTV Breakfast.
This is how we've served you breakfast. Has been back to back. We've informed you, we've entertained you. And Kav, I loved your conversation with Black Star.
Yeah. I was asking people what they remembered, and one of the insights said the bit where he was talking about his wife.
Yeah.
It was really emotional. Yeah, and I felt that. I felt the emotion coming through. Yeah, and then the work he did for Robert Mensah is just awesome. You know, because we all heard the stories about Robert Mensah. But to think that he's the first person to go and visit the woman who was in the bar where he was stabbed after 50 years. I mean, that's crazy.
Nobody has been there.
Nobody's
no
been
the
there.
Police,
You know?
no journalists,
Exactly.
nothing.
And the 3 coffins, where he's been buried. I mean, so sad. I mean, he deserves a swag award, big time. Or a GJA award,
Yeah.
big time.
Yeah.
That's
Kudos Black, kudos
big time,
Black.
Big time.
Yes, that's
Indeed.
this is where we will draw the curtains on the breakfast show. We'll be live on your screens, in your homes, on your phones again tomorrow at 6 a.m. sharp. Remember the hashtag to follow is GTV Breakfast on all our social media handles. Remember to follow or share content from the handles that have the blue tick. Those are our verified accounts, and so when you share content from there, it is authentic content from GBC. It's a wrap. Have a great day, guys.
I wish that guys could also change our hairstyle and our mustache to match our clothes. I saw you wearing a red outfit last time, then you had red streaks in your hair. Today you're wearing something green. I'm seeing green streaks. I should have a brown mustache today.
What are you wearing tomorrow?
Tomorrow I'm wearing pink.
Pink?
Yes.
Should I bring pink hairspray? But there's no hair, Carl.
No,
Okay, for the beard.
Yeah, for the beard.
Okay,
Bring
let's
the
see
pink
how
hairspray.
pink. Let's
I'll
see how
spray
that
my
works.
beard.
Okay, it's a promise, guys. Tomorrow, Carl spray his beard
I'll
on
spray
there.
my beard. Bring it.
Pink.
Bring it. Because I'm wearing a pink outfit tomorrow.
Carl, it's on national
I
television.
will spray, you will spray it for me. You will spray it for me.
It's a deal, guys. It's a wrap from us here. We'll see you again
One love.
tomorrow at 6 a.m. Peace out.